Used my iPod and my laptop, downloaded a bunch of music from iTunes, and then
Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by Demico, Chrysler, Dodge Jeep, and Ram, serving the Finger Lakes since 1963. And Creekside Entertainment, for your DJ, karaoke, and photo booth needs. Think Creekside. And DIRTtrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your hosts, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever you might be joining us. This is the 31st Lap. I'm Chris Marquardt. Joining me in studio tonight, we got a whole cast of characters. Rich Post has made his way back. Obviously, he's riveted to be here. Already doing text message and tweeting. Enough of you. We've got John Baumus and Stephen Ovens from Creekside Entertainment. And then the wonderful, the beautiful Mike Mallett is back in studio. And I don't want to yet. I want to at least be able to get... There you go.
don't.
Okay, good. Once again, this is the 31st Lap, brought to you by Demico, Chrysler, Dodge Jeep, and connected to you by Creekside Entertainment DJ. Welcome, everybody. You're all on now. I wanted to make sure we had a clean open to this one. Coming to you on the airwaves with FingerLakes1.com from the beautiful studios in downtown Seneca Falls. Okay, guys, it's enough for me. Here's Mike.
So we got beautiful Mike in a beautiful studio. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
Both
an
of
intro.
which are not true.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're back. Back and better than ever. What's that from? I don't even know. Oh, Mike in the morning. Don't
There
want to
you
steal
go.
their
Perfect.
catchphrase.
Yep.
Don't want to steal it.
The lawyers are feverishly working.
Yeah,
now.
I used to listen to that. Now I listen to O&A on Sirius Radio because I love
Sirius Radio rocks.
I love it.
Yes,
love
it does.
You can't go back once you get it.
Octane.
Nope.
Yep.
And mine only needs one station. 100.
No.
That's all
What
I
is
listen
that?
to.
What's 100?
It's Howard Stern's.
Howard, that's
Oh,
Howard.
See, I'm not Howard.
100,
I'm
I'm an
101.
Opie and Anthony guy. I like them
Yeah.
better. No offense.
I didn't take any.
Howard. I listened to Howard once back in the day.
I didn't know I was supposed to be offended.
It was offensive.
Oh.
Because they're in competition with one another. I cannot support him.
Okay, you don't have to.
I'm not going to refuse.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's like me asking you to be a modified fan when
I
you
love modified
so
racing. And sprint cars. I love them both, just on different days.
we got a big show tonight. It's gonna
Yes,
be busy.
we do. We got a great show coming up. Jimmy Blewett, a two-time feature winner this past week, won the Friends of Mike race down at the Bridgeport Speedway, which John and I got the chance to go to, which was pretty awesome. You know, all the things we've heard about Bridgeport, tire wear and all that, and we got
None
of it. It was an awesome race. Billy Pouch was second, right there. I mean, knocking on the door pretty much the entire race.
And who was third?
I don't remember.
I do.
Dwayne Howard.
Yeah.
All right. And then he picked up the win on Saturday down at the New Egypt Speedway as well. So went from no wins in a dirt modified, let's be proper, to now having a pair of victories in the dirt modified. So good week for Jimmy Blewett. Then, of course, Jeff Hachmann will be joining us on the line as well around 8 o'clock-ish to talk about Super Dirt Week.
It's like a month away.
I said it
already.
right.
I know you did. I heard it wrong.
Barely.
Yeah, you heard
Yeah,
it how you wanted to heard
He
it.
started to
Barely.
say
I
it.
said Super Dirt Week.
It crossed his mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You finally in, Steve?
You can
You
see
fin-
that.
Steve's got
finally logged
internet
in?
finally? Steve's freaking out over there.
I'm at least online. So.
He's online.
You could also at least be on a microphone.
Yeah.
You're finally
Can we
in the
get
chat.
another
I
way?
sponsor the chat room, and I can't even get into it. I mean,
Whose fault's that, you crappy Apple?
Well,
You know, if you had a regular computer like the rest of us,
It's
you wouldn't have
there,
a
though.
problem.
I mean, it's,
You're just not logged in, but you can read it, though, right?
Yeah, I can read it.
You can read it.
So.
So you can see that I put your
Steve.
your website's in there.
See, you can read that I wrote that to you, Steve.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, dang it. You made it in.
What are you going to do?
As we all mock him in the chat room.
Yep.
And the sad part is, are we the only ones in the chat room?
Yeah, I don't
Those of us
see
sitting in the
anybody
room.
else. So I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out how many people are in there. I don't see
Well,
nobody.
there'll be more. There'll be more.
The hell's
John,
going
I-
on?
It's early.
Give it a minute,
It's
John.
early,
John,
John.
eyes on your own computer.
Listen, I don't have one.
He wasn't looking
You
at
feel
the
left out,
computer.
don't you?
It's way over there. It's across the room.
That's a shame. It's a
Scarcely
shame. I
no.
feel for you, John.
Scarcely working as well.
So, and then what else we got? We got a lot. We got a lot we
Pat
can
Ward.
talk about.
We got Pat
Yeah,
Ward coming on.
possibly.
Fulton track shit. Well,
We got his phone number.
Yeah.
We're going to call him and
We're
see
going
if
to
he's
call him and
coming
see if
on.
he answers.
We are?
Yeah, we're gonna.
John, that's you.
Yeah, we're sending you to do
No,
that
I
one.
don't think so.
John, go for it.
Yep,
It'll be
but-
fun.
Nope.
So, hey, we'll see what happens. You
Yeah.
never know. It's good to be back, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll be here for hopefully a while.
Week?
No, I got a couple weeks, I think.
He'll be here for a while. It means he'll be here till the end of the show.
Yeah, exactly. No,
At
I
least
think,
through 9 o'clock.
I think I got a few weeks where I'm good here, I believe.
Yeah?
And then I eventually I got back to school night, and I know that'll be on a Thursday. And I'm not sure which. Maybe it'll be on a Tuesday. I don't know. I got to figure out which one it is. Normally it's a Thursday, though.
Where are you going next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday?
You going to Bridgeport?
No. That would be awful. I mean, not in the sense that I want to go to the race, but the ride home.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that I have to get up
The
and go to
next
work.
day.
It's one thing when you get home at 5 in the morning
And
and
have
you're
all
just
day to
rolling into
sleep.
bed and you can sleep all day. It's another thing when you got to leave for work at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, that is not. That's not going to work. Not going to do it. I think I did it once with you where we went to Middletown and
Hate that place.
what do we shared the drive and then I slept all the way home and then I got home literally showered
Yeah.
and pretty much went to work.
I think that was the night that Tina complained all night about her phone.
Was that? Oh, it was the night.
Was the next day movie day?
No, it's fine because I slept in the car on the way home, so it wasn't so
Movie day.
bad. But that was what? That was a Thursday. It was a Super Dirt Series race. I can get through a day. You know what sucks is I can tell I'm getting older just because when I was younger, I could go to the races and I could get home 2-3 in the morning, sleep a couple hours, and I could function just like normal. Now I can sleep 12 hours and I still can't function properly. Like it's just, it sucks.
I had somebody travel with me up to Malone this year.
Mm-hmm. That's a
And
ride.
It was, and we made it in a day trip. And on the way home,
So you didn't go to Malone alone?
How long did it take you to come up with that joke? He's been waiting on that for 2
I
weeks.
know. On the way home, we're maybe 10 minutes into the ride, and pulls the lever on the seat, kicks the seat back, pulls his hat down over his eyes, and goes to sleep. And that's it. We got like a 5.5 hour ride ahead of us. And I'm like, thanks for the support, big guy. That's awesome.
Dude, that is the worst.
I'm like, what? What are we supposed to do with this?
So you got to listen to him snore for 5.5 hours.
No. Nope.
That's good.
Oh, dude, I've had that where you take somebody
that's
with you.
even worse.
This one right here, the worst part of the trip, we get to Binghamton, and you've got basically like an hour.
I do my best to stay awake
He
the whole
does this.
time. I get to Binghamton and I'm done.
Done. We're talking, and
That
next thing
last
you know,
hour, forget it.
I literally look over at him, and he's, that's it, done.
The last hour, it's like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, I'm out. Forget it.
Done.
I
He
hold,
gives
I
up.
hold on as long as
I go,
can.
you going to make it? He just looks at me, no.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your help.
It's a great ride down.
Well,
Yeah.
you told me that I was going to drive some of the way home, then you never stopped.
I know. I never did because I didn't. I don't know. I was going to work on my computer. Then I'm like, I'll just power through it. Just get
So
there.
I finally got to Binghamton. I'm like, well, he's not going to pull over now.
Yeah,
so
so
I'm
screw it.
out.
That's what I was going to look at him and go, hey, you want to drive? And then I'm like, wait.
We got Jimmy coming up at 7:30.
Yes. And I told him about 15 minutes he'll be on the air. So he wanted to know how long. So
There was we put an email in for to get Bond there from Oswego.
Yeah,
Won the classic, but
it's tough. Some
Bobby
guys-
Bond. Beat Otto, huh?
Yep.
yeah.
I went Friday night. So when we went to the
How was it?
I went to the Race of Champions Modifieds. It was pretty good. I'm even debating going to Mountain Speedway on Sunday for the Modifieds. Just for
We've seen the place. They got rained out, though.
have you? I've never
Seen
been
it.
there. So and they start at 2:00, so that's kind of appealing to me. So if I get up after the Coal Cup and leave, 8:00ish, be down there by 11, watch hot laps for 6 hours because that's what they do on pavement. And then they race at 2, and then I figure I'll be home, leave there by 5, be home by 9.
It's weird about pavement, especially like NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, those type of races. They always have like a morning practice or early afternoon practice, but they always do it without the place being open. So the fans can never get to see it.
Yeah, but why would you want to? It's just guys driving around in a
Yeah,
circle.
but some people like to watch that stuff. Like for instance, if you go to a NASCAR race,
I don't want to
John,
or you go to Super
John taped both practice sessions from the 24 hours.
or you go to
Daytona.
Super Dirt Week.
Yeah.
You go to Super Dirt Week. The whole week is all practice, and
Right.
a lot of people go up in the stands and they're watching and stuff like
Not
that.
this year. It's going to be busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
Tuesday-
a lot now with that Tuesday
wow.
night. I just did my, for Dirt Track Digest, we did our writers and photographer schedule. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I might as well not even go home the whole week. It's gonna be a lot craziness. But I can't
Just
wait till
one more day.
our Sunday date, Chris. In the stands. It's 200 miles of fun.
Dude.
Can't even get it out with a straight
Might
face,
be more
can
than
you?
that this year.
It's 200 miles of insults and complaining. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for a pit stop.
Yep. This year, though, I like that rule.
No mandatory pit?
No mandatory
Yes.
pit stop, and the last 25 are green.
Yes.
So now, when everybody starts running out of gas, you got to keep
This
going
race
on
is-
that gas.
this race is
That
gonna
is
run
going to be
long.
awesome.
I think it runs long.
There's no way it's going to stop end at 200. It's going to be green, white
It's gonna
checker
be
a couple of times.
It's going to be the 225.
It's going to be high because
but that's
guys are going to
okay.
keep running out of gas, which is good. So that way, it kind of takes the fuel mileage out of it because you got to be smart. You can't just go in there and say, "Screw it, we're going to go for it." You got to do something. So,
Yeah,
but I
but-
mean,
but
somebody
maybe
will.
not- but maybe
Somebody
not.
will. Well,
If you
more than likely,
headed it-
somebody's going to pit on 75 or 70 and try to go 130 laps, and then they're going to run out of gas with like 2 to go, and then we're going to have a yellow, then we're going to run 3 laps under caution, and then
And I'm going to put a gamble and say one of them is a black and white car with 115 out the door.
be a good gamble.
oh, that's
Yeah.
just mean, man. You
That's
only did
not
it-
mean. That's truth.
You only did it what?
That's
4
reality.
times, 3 times, 4 times, 3 times. I don't know. I
Twice
lost
on the
count.
last lap.
Too many. Yeah, too many times.
Twice on the last lap, right?
Yeah.
Figure your fuel mileage and just for the hell of it, add another lap to it. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, add like 6.
Yeah. This year, yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause
see
that's what you're gonna need.
I see about 208 laps running.
Yeah, it's
That's your
gonna
best?
be. There's gonna be a few.
Yeah,
let's
that's
let's
my
save
guess.
those
That's my
guesses
guess.
till we get there. We'll wait for
we
the
got a
week.
long-
week
long
Well, I
way
mean,
to
we
go
got a
for
chance.
that.
We got a chance to talk to Jeff Hachmann about it a little bit, and he'll tell us that.
Yeah.
He won't
Yep.
tell us a whole lot about that part of it because, as always, we ask him questions that aren't completely fair for him to try to answer.
Yeah,
Right, and then
I've
he'll
got
say, "Well, you'll have to ask Joe."
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say he very graciously defers to Joe Scott.
Yeah.
I've got a
Yep.
question for him too regarding that whole Tuesday thing too. So I'm glad we're having him on.
Okay.
As typical, Balmus cares nothing about the racing. All he cares about is his camper.
I don't have a camper. Well,
You still going to be sitting at the pit gate?
Rolling wheels.
You going to
Yep.
sit at the pit
I'll be
gate
there
at
all-
the wheels?
yeah, all 3 days now.
Good.
2,
Yep.
3 days, 4 days now. Count Weedsport.
What did I shrink?
And now we're getting asked, how many laps will it go? I'll say 207 just because John said 208.
That was me because I'm finally on.
Okay, all right.
That
207.
was you.
207.
Oh, you finally logged in.
Yeah.
All right.
Good,
Hey,
man.
thanks for joining us, Steve.
207. Poor
Finally
Steve.
Finally let him into his chat room.
I'm sorry, man. I took your seat when I got here.
No.
Took your seat.
No, I think he forfeited
Oh,
that
okay.
seat.
Yeah, he gave it up quick. I was surprised. They didn't have to fight for it. I figured rock, paper, scissors or something.
Oh man.
Yep.
I've never seen a guy try and show a little respect to somebody and then get hammered for it.
Oh, welcome
What?
to the 31st
You're not
lap.
getting hammered. Listen, this is your fair game, man.
That happened.
If you were a part of this show, I am an equal opportunity hater.
I tried to show a little bit of respect to Canadians that got hammered one time.
Literally hammered. Half a bottle of Crown.
I've camped in Oswego a few
Adam-
times. I know all
Yeah,
about that.
Adam
Yeah.
Ross told me after the fact, he goes, I knew that you were in trouble with the rate at which alcohol was entering your body.
And it wasn't coming out. except for this. High five. The whole night. High five.
Oh, it came out.
No, my favorite part was the phone call at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Where's Chris?
That came up too over the
Oh,
weekend. When
yeah.
we were up. We were
How'd
up
that
at-
go for you?
We saw Luke Bryan and Thompson Square
Mm-hmm.
at the New York State Fairgrounds, and we were walking along, and my wife looks around, and she goes, any of this look familiar?
I wouldn't have remembered it even if it did.
I'm like, it's supposed to.
I've been here before.
No, my camper was over there.
It might.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a longhouse around here.
Do you remember at all Kenny Martin?
Who's that?
Yeah,
He was
I
there.
remember Kenny Martin.
That was apple pie moonshine, wasn't it? And the cherry something.
what-
and
Whatever bottle he could find. Oh, look, moonshine. Let me suck that down. Oh,
he
is
had
that
everything.
red wine? Let me suck that down. Oh,
Yeah,
is
everything.
that some kind of liquor? Let me suck that down. Oh, let me have that beer. Is that turpentine? Let me suck that down too.
I just hope did you rehearse that too for Super Dirt Week? that was cute.
Hey, don't worry. He's going to go sleep it off. In my car.
Pick a silver car, any silver car.
Well, I won.
I'm just happy when I got in it, there wasn't puke on the floor.
You and me both, because I heard there was a drunk dude wandering around.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
And by the way, I do remember Kenny Martin. I just pray to God he doesn't remember me.
No, you are very difficult to forget at this point.
Hey, let's get drunk and build a fire in a straw hut. That's a good idea.
Hey, that wasn't my idea.
We had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
We just happened to notice it.
And we noticed it, and
Listen,
we promptly left because
they were
there was trouble coming if we stuck
creating history.
Yeah.
It's a historical reenactment as far as I knew.
Yeah, it was a historical reenactment.
I wouldn't even. We usually walk through that friggin' building.
That was
year
a
at the State
historical.
Fair. I would not walk through it this
You're
year.
legit.
I wouldn't go through it.
You freaking maniac. That was a historical reenactment to St. Elmo's fire, and we got out of there just in time.
Yeah, Elmo was right there too.
Yeah, that was a good time. Super Dirt Week.
I've been told I
The
love
memories you don't have.
Every time travel happened to me.
Yeah. Well, Adam Ross walked into his camper one night at 3 a.m. and Bombas had a whole conversation with him.
It was that night.
It was like 3 weeks
It was
later.
that night.
Okay, maybe it was.
It was.
3 weeks later, I'm like, hey, do you remember when Adam walked into your camper? He's like, I thought that was a dream.
Yeah, because the guy that owns the camper that I was staying with, the next Monday morning, I wake up and he said, "Who the hell were you talking to last night?" I go, "What? What are you talking about?" He goes, "You were talking to somebody out here." I go, "No, I wasn't." He goes, "You sure?" I go, "Yeah, I'd remember that if I did." I go, "You sure you weren't dreaming?" He goes, I don't know. Maybe I was.
The dog was
So
barking.
I had no idea. I didn't remember any of it. I had him convinced he was dreaming, and then when I ran into you a couple weeks later, you told me the whole story. I'm like, oh my God, he wasn't kidding.
Yeah, Adam walks up, knocks on the door, nobody answers, so he's like, opens it, goes right in. He's like, Bombas is sleeping right there.
Yeah, right by
He
the
walks
door.
in and sits down next to him and starts having a conversation.
I don't remember any of
It's
it.
like, Bombas, are you sleeping?
Not anymore.
Apparently, I still was.
Oh, it was so funny. The dog's barking, Bob's in the back going, you can't understand what he's saying. He's sleeping.
I don't remember any of it. It was the only night I got drunk.
Good
the whole
times.
week.
Good times.
Yeah, we get to round those up in about a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be your job, right? You working security at that deal? Or
No.
No, you're going to have fun?
No security.
Nice.
No, yep. You're the phone guy. Back to phone guy.
Phone duty.
Phone
You
guy.
going to stay with Sonny again this year?
No. I'm going to be staying.
Wow. That was awesome. My God, it's hot in here all of a sudden.
Wow. That tent's going to see the sun and the moon. Oh, my God.
Oh, why? I don't even know why I'm laughing this hard. I'm tired. I got to be tired.
Oh,
Man.
Jesus.
It's always fun. I mean,
It's a
Super Dirt Week.
campsite. I don't think I did anything wrong.
No.
He did actually
Is that where he stayed?
on her
Yeah,
lot.
he just... They just
He was in a tent. I think he was by himself.
He was by himself.
Wait, is he rad?
Oh, man.
I didn't think I did anything wrong there.
I thought it was
I
funny.
thought it was great. That's funny.
Steve, you normally go to Super Dirt Week. Pass him the
I-
mic. Let's get him involved here. I feel bad for him.
I
With his
am-
Hey,
Apple.
Steve.
I am 27 years old, and I
Yep.
think I've been to Super Dirt Week 27 years.
Wow, that's impressive. I've
So,
not been to that
that's
many, I
cool.
can tell you that.
Maybe not 27, but definitely more than 20.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I've only been to, if I'm going by what I remember, I think, well, none of them, the last 6 years, 7 years. I didn't go much before then. My parents always went to the Labor Day race. We went to the fair race.
You
or
were there. You're
whatever.
still cracking up.
Yeah, he's still laughing.
The Labor Day race was the fair.
The fair race.
That
Okay,
was
yeah,
the-
there you
yeah.
go. I don't
No,
know.
there was one
Dude,
in
I
the
was
middle
like
of
a
summer
little,
too, wasn't there?
I was like a little kid. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
stuff.
4th of
I
July.
remember it was like $20 a carload, whatever one that was.
Yes,
That was
the July race.
July race.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember going to those, but we never went to Super Dirt Week. Like we would go up for a couple days, but I think I got left home because my dad was helping out in the race car and stuff like that. So
What happened to your microphone over there?
mine
Yeah.
is it not working?
I don't know.
Mm.
I tried to pull
I'm
levels
not-
down. 'cause
well, I'm not-
everybody's
Well,
howling
everyone
like
was so
hyenas.
loud, and now we've kind of calmed it down a little bit here.
Yeah, we've always gone to Super Dirt Week. Always camp on the back stretch, sit there in your camping chair, have a drink, watch the cars go by.
Yep.
In the infield.
In the infield, yeah.
No,
for sure.
outside so you can look at the fence,
Well, you,
bonus.
can be on the other, you can be on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, but you can't see anything. I'm gonna watch the cars
Doesn't
go
mean
by.
You can't camp there though. People do.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw campers on that side.
Yeah, but I'm saying he said sit in the chair and watch the cars go by.
I was already getting it out when he said that.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Steve. Back to you.
No.
Creekside Entertainment Newark is the fastest growing DJ service. This I got to do something to break this up.
Do that.
Fastest growing DJ service in the Finger Lakes. Based out of Newark, the group features anything you might need to kickstart your next party or gathering. The official photo booth provider of the Rochester Nighthawks, Creekside Entertainment offers DJ services, sound rentals, and karaoke. They can be found around the area weekly, including FNA's Rhythm and Booze, the Great Bar in Waterloo. They're there Tuesdays from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Every Friday night at the Poorhouse from 9 to 1 all the way through December. Friday nights at the Quality Inn located in Newark featuring rock and roll karaoke from 9:30 to 1:30, and Saturday nights at the Penny Inn VFW from 8 until 12. That's Creekside Entertainment, the official fan connection sponsors of the 31st Lap, online at http://creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700 or email creeksideentertainment@yahoo.com. We've also got to make mention of our good friends over there, New Chrysler Dodge Jeep. They're a staple of the Finger Lakes since 1963, just coming off their 50th anniversary celebration. New Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram offers full-service parts and sales from their headquarters on Routes 5 and 20 on the west side of Geneva. Their lineup includes the 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee, Dodge's hot new offering, the Dart, the Charger, the Chrysler 200, you name it, they've got it there. And they need trade-ins. Their pre-owned inventory has been beat up from a very busy summer. They're in desperate need of quality pre-owned vehicles. They're going to hold nothing back and give you the most that they can for your car and help you into one of the new cars, vans, SUVs, or trucks. Visit my favorite sales rep, Mike Godkin, and the rest of the D'Amico family online at D'AmicoChryslerDodgeJeep.com or visit them in person at the dealership, open daily Monday to Saturday at 8:30. For more information, call D'Amico's at 877-407-7207.
Well, joining us on the line right now, and it is a pleasure for us to have him on the line. He is a two-time modified, and let's clarify that, dirt modified feature winner this past week, Jimmy Blewett. Jimmy, thanks for joining us here on the 31st Lap. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here.
No problem. How you guys doing tonight?
We're having a good time. We're talking about Super Dirt Week, and we'll get to that with you here in a moment, but we want to talk about the two wins. Obviously, some special victories for you. First off, Friends of Mike race, a race that everybody wants to win, and you got your first big block modified win in that. How special is that to you?
Well, it's like I said before, a couple of other interviews that we have done. It's probably the biggest one that I've got so far in my career. Coming from asphalt, we've got some big victories, but switching over to dirt wasn't easy, and it still isn't easy. It's been a challenge now for about 3 years for me that I thought I'd never get over the hill. I'm getting my first win. But, to go there Thursday night and have all the stars align like they did, Brent Tittle, my crew chief, and his tire guy, Chip Morgan, they just been preparing me a car that's been, fast out of the trailer, if not the fastest out of the trailer, week in and week out at New Egypt. And previous times when we've been to Bridgeport, we've had a super fast car. They just had everything perfect for me Thursday night, and to go out there and win over Billy in Friends of Mike, which is a big race in dirt racing each year. It's like I said, it's just like a dream come true for me. But definitely ranks as probably the biggest of my career.
You battled with you mentioned Billy Pouch, and I talked to you Thursday night after the race, and you mentioned how that you weren't intimidated by Billy Pouch, but what's it like knowing that Billy Pouch is the guy knocking on the door, one of the best modified drivers, of all time?
He's, I've idolized him since I was a kid. Any off night that me and my brother used to have from racing the asphalt cars, he used to say, when I was real young, it was, hey, get in the car, let's go to Windsor, let's go to Flemington, we got to watch Pouch, and then. Probably about 7 or 8 years ago, it was, let's go to New Egypt. We got to watch Pouch. Billy's been a great guy, great mentor to me. Like I said, he's been an idol, of mine growing up. It was just an honor to even get to race against him to begin with, but to beat him was just, speechless for me, But it just felt good, Billy's hard. He runs you clean. And he's the first guy over there after the race to, even if you do screw up, he's the first guy over there after the race to see if you need anything or give you pointers.
I think one of the coolest things as a fan, I was there as a media member, but as a fan as well, to see, Billy Pouch come over to Victory Lane afterwards and give you that big hug and congratulate you. you don't see that a lot in dirt modified racing, and it's pretty amazing the relationship that you've been able to form with Billy Pouch. And how did that relationship form? I mean, how did you guys get together and get that close? I mean, because a lot of guys in dirt modified racing, they never get that close. They keep their distance from their competitors.
Well, Billy's pretty straight up guy, and me and my grandfather have helped Billy sponsorship wise. Mainly my grandfather's helped Billy sponsorship wise. The past 3-4 years, but just kind of got to know each other. You stop by his shop once in a while when I had to grab a tire or two or needed some advice. I'd ride up there and sit and talk to him. But him and my brother were teammates at Flemington years ago, so we always knew each other, just not so much on a personal level. Him and John were really close when they were teammates. They battled hard. But, just week in and week out, I'd go up in the stands and, ask him about this or ask him about that. Or if I come back from a big asphalt race, he'll ask me, how was the car count? How was the racing? How'd you do? How was your car? He's just, we've always just sat there and kind of talked. But to have him come there, Thursday and give me a hug in Victory Lane, that meant a lot too. It almost seemed like a couple guys were more happy that I won than if they won themselves.
Yeah, and it seemed like that. John's here with me. He was with me on Thursday night down at Bridgeport as well, and we all felt that like it was a special moment to see you win. How much did Thursday night's win give you the confidence to go out and win on Saturday night at New Egypt?
No more pressure.
Is that what?
No more pressure.
Yeah, just take.
My grandfather, he's 83 years old. He's not getting any younger. One of his dreams was to have me drive his dirt car and win with it. And, anybody that knows my grandfather knows he's tough. And he don't take no for an answer. He wants to win everything he does, week in and week out. And, every week he's hard on me, sometimes too hard, but, I know how much that win on Thursday meant to him. And just to get that off my shoulders made it that much easier to go into Saturday night. Saturday night, I did start towards the front. I started 5th, but you got to be in it to win it. Ryan and Billy got to the front very quickly, and they were right there behind me. But it just, like I said, no pressure. It took a lot off of me. Now I can just go out there and focus on driving. And I think if I focus more on driving and not trying to win everything, the wins will come.
You brought up Brent Tittle and having him as a crew chief. I know I talked to you back when you first started your dirt modified career, and then I think I talked to you a second time when you had just gotten to start to work with Brent Tittle. How much has he meant to your dirt program?
90%, probably 90%, and the other 10% is my grandfather, backing it and me driving it. He does 90% of the work. He's hands-on. He brought a lot to the table. It would have took me years to figure out what he knows and what he has to offer. He brings a tire guy along with him, Chip Morgan, and to have those two guys there, those are like the two main ingredients you need for dirt racing. You need a good tire guy and you need a good crew chief, and they come as a pair. And to have them two come with me, I had no pressure as far as working on the race car, because before it was get the car ready, do the tires, get to the track, drive the car, figure out what you're going to change on the car, get out of the car, grind the tires yourself, put them back on the car, get back in and go back out. Now I can go out and focus on reading the track and driving the race car more than worrying about what I'm going to change on it and what I'm going to do as far as getting the tires ground and back on. But, back to that, me and Brent do go over every change we do make on the car. We kind of want to have an understanding on, what the car's doing and what change we're going to make, and we both try to agree on whatever we're going to do.
Again, we're chatting here with Jimmy Blewett on the 31st lap winner at the Bridgeport Speedway with the Friends of Mike race.
And the Creekside Entertainment Hotline.
Creekside Entertainment Hotline, and, of course, on Saturday night down at the New Egypt Speedway. Jimmy, we talk about Super Dirt Week coming up here. That's the big theme of our show tonight. We've got Super Dirt Week. We've got Jeff Hachmann on from DIRTcar here in a little bit. How excited are you to get back to the Syracuse Mile here in October?
I'm pumped. I can't. I wish it was tomorrow, to be honest with you. We got a brand new Troyer car coming. Brent's supposed to pick that up on Monday. Got a brand new motor from Bob Bernal Engine Research. Got a lot of good sponsors coming along for the ride. Just really excited. You know, it was another dream to go to Syracuse. Another dream of ours just to go to Syracuse. We went last year and the year before and had some success, but it means even more to go there this year, and I'm more excited to go because I have more experience, and I got a crew chief, I got a good tire guy, and I feel like I got a very good engine package.
You're a guy that races both on the dirt and on the asphalt. How tough is it for you to go back and forth? And obviously now you've had success in both. You know, you've won some asphalt modified races this year, specifically down at Wall, and now you've got the dirt wins. But how difficult is it for you to make the adjustments to get in one car and then get in the other car and then go back and to switch your brain over to these are the changes I need to make on dirt, these are the changes that I need to make on pavement?
Well, it's real easy to go from the dirt car to the asphalt car. It doesn't really affect me at all that way. Coming from the asphalt car and then getting back in the dirt car when I've been off for like 2-3 weeks, it does take me a little bit, and it tends to get a little frustrating for me because, you know, you only get green, white checker in practice, where in an asphalt car, you know, it seems like you're practicing for hours. By the time you get done practicing in an asphalt car, they would have had the whole dirt show done already.
Yep.
You know, it gets frustrating sometimes, but it did better me on asphalt. It made me a lot better driver. It gave me a lot more car control. I just wish I could get out more now and run the dirt car at different places and just get as many laps as I can get under me. I think that's the only thing really holding us back from winning more than what we are right now is just having the time and experience under my belt.
You know, a couple more questions here, then we'll let you go again. We appreciate being on here tonight. What's the plan going forward for the asphalt modified and the dirt modified as we look to the end of the year? I got to assume, of course, we'll see a Turkey Derby in the asphalt modified.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing the Turkey Derby. As far as next year goes, we ordered another brand-new car from Troyer. We ordered another brand-new engine from Bob. We're going to have a brand-new small block car on hand to hit up Grandview and Diamond. And we will have our big block car here in case we want to move around with that. And we'll have our Syracuse car. So we'll have 2 small blocks, 1 big block, and, you know, our Syracuse small block car. And if things go good next year, you know, look to see maybe we don't bring a 2-car stable to Syracuse and I'll drive both of them. But our main goal next year is going to be more than likely, you know, hitting as many dirt races as possible to try to get as much experience and exposure as we can and kind of take a step back from the asphalt stuff. You know, I've been doing it now for about 13 years, you know, so we've got most of the big wins that we wanted. You know, we're still going to go to a couple races that we really would like to win, and just go from there.
So let me clarify, Jimmy. In 2014, you will be a regular at Big Diamond and Grandview weekly?
Not so much weekly. We're going to try to get to most of the big shows or midweek shows, but as much as we can, we're going to branch out from New Egypt. New Egypt will be our home track, and you know, Bridgeport's local to us, so, you know, we'll try to support them as much as possible. And like I said, we'll go to Big Diamond and Grandview as much as we can, and maybe even hit a couple tracks in New York.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, Jimmy, one thing we like to do on here before we let any guests go, if there's any sponsors, any people that you want to mention, want to thank, if you've got a website, Facebook page, anything like that you want fans to check you out on, we always want to give everybody a chance to do that as our way to show thanks for coming on.
Yeah, they can follow us on our Facebook fan page. It's Showtime6676. On Instagram, they can follow us. It's the same thing. You know, I'd like to thank Bob Renault for giving me awesome power. You know, he's been nothing but good to us since day one. Draco Springs, Bill Steen, VP Race Fuels, can't leave them out. They've been great to us. Van Winkle Auto Supply, they've been a tremendous help as far as paint, oil, fluids, anything we really need. Frankie Boardwick, Racing Engines, he's been coming to the track and helping us get the car tuned week in and week out. Bill Pink from Pink Carburetors. And last, you know, Brent Tittle, my crew, Chip Morgan, Uncle Nat, you know, my grandfather for funding the whole operation. And you can't forget the fans, because without the fans, none of us would be doing it. And I just want to thank all the promoters, you know, for doing their job too. You know, New Egypt Speedway, Bridgeport, all the races that we've been to, those guys have done a heck of a job, and hopefully they can keep back in the stands and getting their car counts back up where they need to be.
Well, Jimmy, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you at Super Dirt Week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot,
So,
Jim.
again, that was Jimmy Blewett on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline here on the 31st lap. And, he's almost a throwback to the old-time racer where he goes back and forth between the asphalt and the pavement, and he's running both, and he can win in both.
Yep.
I mean, it's different cars. It's not like it was in the old days where you could run the same car.
Right, and there really haven't been many people to do that in the recent years, and now the last couple of years you see him doing it, and lately you got Liquid Lou Scroni.
Right, yeah, he's trying.
Has been bouncing around doing a little bit of dirt stuff. He owns a dirt car now, so
Yeah, we saw him at Grandview
Yeah.
for the
RLC race, and then he was at Bridgeport last week for the Friends of Mike.
Right, in Mike Kyle's car. And I think Andrew Krause does a little bit of it at New Egypt once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not.
You don't
near
see a
as-
lot of it anymore like
No.
you used to.
No, I mean, I think obviously the biggest thing is that the cars are different.
Right.
So you can't.
Right.
You actually have to buy
Yeah,
a totally different car.
Right,
It's
in
not,
the 50s, 60s and stuff, they take the same car and drive it to the racetrack and run it on pavement or dirt. Didn't matter.
Yeah, but it was. I got to tell you, I know you were there when I was interviewing him, and he's got such a passion for racing. Like it's real cool to talk to him because he's such a passionate driver. Like you could see the relief on his face when he got out of the car on the front stretch, and he was just like, finally.
Yep.
Like, here's a guy that's been so successful on asphalt, and it's taken probably longer, like you said, longer than he expected to win on the dirt.
Right, because he's used to winning.
Right. It's not something you want to do if you go from being a winning driver in one thing to not, getting the job done. But it was an impressive race. I mean, Pouch kept diving him and diving him and diving him.
Oh, Pouch got there early.
Yeah.
I mean,
he drove
lap
10. By lap 10, he was there.
From his starting spot, he drove to second very, very quickly.
Like that, yep.
And we thought, he's going to just smoke him.
Done. See ya.
And he never did. He got to his bumper, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, he kept diving on the bottom. When we talked to Pouch afterwards, he said, I just couldn't come off on the bottom. There's just nothing there.
Yep.
But, I mean, coming in on the bottom, he would right up next to him, and then
he could never get enough
away.
run going down a straightaway to go into the
Slider.
corner
He
to
could
pull
never-
the slider.
right, he could never
Just
slide
never
him,
had
but-
enough head of steam to do it.
And you got to give him credit for not dumping him too.
Yeah,
Well, he raced him very clean.
They raced very clean, and like everyone has complained about Bridgeport, the tire wear and all the track.
We
I
got
thought
a fan
was awesome.
calling.
Ooh, a fan calling. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
CNY Racer is on the line.
Oh,
How about that, huh?
Hey,
You've
nice.
been calling me on my cell phone, trying to figure out what the line is to call in, and we've been going back and forth, and we got him on the line.
oh, how we doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's CNY Race Fan on Dirt Track Digest.
Oh, so what's new?
Well, I posted something on there about the rolling wheels. It's,
Did Mike delete it on you?
No, I didn't touch anything. I haven't been on there today. Don't blame me.
but, I got quite a few likes and responses, but then I saw on there that you were going to have a call-in about it, about what happened out there. And, my only response to that is, them running so late. I mean, I can understand why things run late, maybe, but when you have a show to run, if you're behind, you got to know how to advance the show to get the main attraction in, and I just don't think that happened. And there were some people that were very disappointed sitting next to me. They were from Georgia.
Yeah.
They came
Ouch.
from Georgia to watch the race, and they're going to go to Utica Rome the next day, and of course they didn't get to see that.
Right.
Yeah, Mother Nature was not
yeah.
kind to us on Sunday or Monday.
No.
But let me tell you what, it reminds me of why we have it so good here. Smile on their faces when the big blocks came off the corner. They just looked at me and said, "We don't have anything like this."
Yeah, I can relate to that. I lived in South Carolina for a while, and I remember I used to go to this late model track, and they'd get like 14 cars, and they'd run time trials for every division. And then, and I would show them, like I remember sitting with one guy and just chatting with him. I had a photo book that I used to buy photos at every racetrack, and I carried it with me, and I was showing the guys the photos of, what I watch up here. He's like, wow, and then you explain to him we get like 30 cars, and, and they'd have a different understanding of what weekly racing is down there as compared to what we're, and you're right, we're definitely fortunate to have what we have here in New York, because there's not a lot of states that have the per capita racetracks, or wherever you want to say it properly, that we have here.
It's just to clarify for the listeners who may not know, the gentleman that's calling in what he's referencing is the race at Rolling Wheels on Sunday night. They got 24 laps into the modified feature, and the rains came, and stopped the race and couldn't finish it, so they got to finish it during Tuesday night during Super Dirt Week. So that's what he's referencing, talking about the show running late and stuff.
Yeah, there was a thread on Dirt Track Digest that went on for about 80 replies.
Yep.
And, 4,000 or 5,000. So I mean, it got quite a bit of topic, and I'm a member on there, and that was like the third time I've ever posted anything.
Well, hey, we appreciate you posting, and
you got to post more often.
Yeah, if you're constructive and fair with your posts, that's what we want, And I don't know if you've noticed over the last since me and the guys took over majority control here that we've tried to weed out those that tend not to follow the rules, and we want to make it a place where people can actually talk about racing in a fair and constructive way, not track bashing, not people bashing.
By being moderators.
Yeah. No. Well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a great place to do that. And I really didn't mean to bash anybody.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're a fan, and you paid your money, and you're allowed to have your opinion of what you think.
Yeah, I'm a little sarcastic at times, but it's
we all are.
Yep, you're in the right place for that.
Yeah, I believe it's more accurate to say that we're cynical.
Yes, that's
we're not happy
better.
about anything.
I think I live on sarcasm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But I think the response was that the dew point was high and the humidity was high and it took the track more time to dry out than normal, work than normal.
They watered it quite a bit too.
Yeah, my response to that is you ought to keep a notebook, just like race car drivers keep a notebook on setups. If your track is you think it's going to take 4 hours to set up, just take a note. Put it down a note. If the humidity's high and dew point's this, it took a little extra because over the years you'll have a book.
Yep.
That says, hey, if the temperature's like this, the dew point's like this, it may take us a little longer.
Right.
I don't buy that there's nothing that they could do. There's always something you could do, especially if you're prepared and take notes and realize that, hey, given the conditions today that we're seeing, we better start a little earlier. That's all I have to say on that. I mean, I'm not trying to bash anybody. They bring us the racing. I mean, the race car drivers do the racing and they're awesome, but they do a good job promoting generally, I believe. I mean, it's not my social activity, racing. I go to watch the races.
I do for a little of both personally, but I enjoy the racing, but I also enjoy the people. I mean, for me, I think every friend that I have are all my very close friends.
The people you see on a regular basis
are all my race
fans.
Racing fans. Yeah, they're all the friends. Whenever I need something, like if something happens to me and I need something, it's the racing friends that are the first ones there to help me. Not that I don't like my other friends, I don't have other friends, but
right.
Racing people are the greatest people.
Those are the ones you spend the most time with.
Right, yeah, you don't have a choice.
Well, you have a choice, but that's what you want to do.
Well, sometimes I don't, spend 5 hours in a car with you. That's great.
Yeah. Who else would you rather be with?
It sounds like a poor choice.
Yeah.
Hey, what are your options, me or Zupin?
Oh, well.
Zupin.
Well, let me tell you this. I'll give you a hint who I am. I'm Firestorm's dad.
Oh, I know who this is now.
Boom, got it.
It's Bobby Sweeney's dad.
Yeah. Well, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're big-time fans. I mean, we went 63 races last year, 40-some, this year.
We need to get one of those bells.
All the ESS Speed Week.
Nice. Did you guys enjoyed it? I know. I kept saying who's been to all of them, and you guys were always right there, sitting in front of me. I think most of them.
Yeah, we were. We enjoyed the heck out of it, and we're glad they're going to do it again.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Really, really, really looking forward to Saturday at Utica Rome.
Yeah, the Coal Cup.
That's going to be a big show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Awesome. It's about time.
And it's about time, and it should be really exciting. And then Sunday, for people that don't know, is the Steve Halsizer benefit.
Yep.
He's been battling a little bit of a illness. I shouldn't say a little bit. He's been battling a big illness, and people see him out there racing a little bit right now. But it should be a nice time to raise some money for him. And I don't really know him, but I see Joe Augustus gave him a car. Kudos to Joe to help his friend.
Yeah, I've hung out with Steve before, and he has always been he's a good time. He's a guy you can have some fun with. You always see him after the races. He's always, nice to everybody. He don't even know you, and he'll walk up and, he'll BS with you. And just, and he's like every other race, a lot of the race fans or race car drivers that, You get them away from the race car when they're not intense and in competition, and they're a really good time and they're fun to hang out with. And that's how Steve is. And it was sad to hear the prognosis that he got and all of that. I mean, most people, if you read the press release that the track sent out, he's battling cancer, and it wasn't a good prognosis. So, and Joe stepped up, gave him a car to race when he felt up to racing to give him a chance to get back on track. So that, and as you mentioned, that's a pretty awesome thing for somebody to do.
Absolutely.
You were talking about the Coal Cup on Saturday. Who do you got for the Coal Cup?
Me?
Yeah.
Jason.
Racing Jason?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, I kept telling him it's because I sat in his car. That's why he won on Sunday.
How the hell did you get in his car?
It was easy getting in, not so much
I was
getting
gonna
out.
say, better question is how'd you get out? Sponsored by Crisco.
Yeah. Yeah, it was entertaining. We had fun. If you don't know, Jason Barney lives literally down the street from me. So I tend to stop in his shop a lot and hang out and bust his chops
and bother him.
And bother him pretty much, yeah. Well, needless to say, I wrote something pretty funny on he had a list of to-do list on his wall. So I put number 8 or go get sand out of a certain place, right? So Sunday night he gets home, he sends me a picture, and he puts a check mark next to it after his win at Utica. So it was pretty awesome. So Jason's a good dude, and I'm glad he got the win. I mean, he's been trying at Utica and everywhere this year, with ESS. He's got a Core Pack win, he had a Patriot win, and now he's finally got that ESS win. So,
yeah.
So you're taking Jason Barney. Well, let's make some picks since we got a second. Let's do it. Go ahead. Steve, who you got?
I got to go with Lance.
Lance?
Shaking down a new chassis.
GF1.
I got to go with the Penny N man.
Okay, going with Lance. Bombus?
Kyle Larson.
I'm going to take a lot of flack for this.
Oh, no, you're going to do
Brady
it, aren't you?
Bacon.
No, I know who.
Because I'm going to go away from the locals.
I know who you're. Ooh, okay.
I'm going to go with Wayne Johnson.
Wayne Johnson.
How do you not take that guy?
It ain't happening.
How do you not? How do you not take a guy like that? Though,
I know he's good. He's one of the best.
He's
ever
one of the best
360
racers out there.
Yep.
Barney's hot.
Come on, pick somebody else, man.
If they're sprint cars, I could care less.
Yeah,
I tell you this.
I don't follow. To be honest with you, I really just don't follow.
Didn't Barney already get picked though?
Yeah, so you got to pick somebody else.
Yeah, pick a different one.
Coattail surfer.
Yep, exactly.
The guy that doesn't flip the damn thing.
Take Poirier.
All I know
you are.
is
You know what? I'm not going to go where I'm going to go with this because it'll get me in trouble. I'm not going to say it.
Take Poirier.
You got to pick?
I was just going to say Poirier.
He's got Poirier.
You know
now,
what?
here's who I should pick, and here's who I'm going to pick.
You should have picked Chuck Heaving.
The Cobra. Come on, he's from your area, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a very great year, has he?
And by the way, he's not bad at Utica Rome.
No,
he's not bad.
He is, but...
I'll take. Okay, here's who I'm going to pick,
Kenny.
and
Could
then I'll
take
tell you
Stewie.
who I should pick. That's who I should pick is Stuart
Friesen?
Friesen because Friesen is ungodly in a sprint car. His talent level in a sprint car is amazing. But after watching him on Sunday, first time he's ever been to Utica Rome, Aeronaut looked impressive. I mean, he drove up through for a guy that's never been there, and to get a top 5 finish, he was pretty good. Every race he was in, he went forward. He got passed for the lead and then passed him back. Like he was figuring it out. And he's getting things shaken out. And again, for the first time there, he was pretty good.
Mrs. Stewie isn't all that bad at Utica either.
No, she's not. No. So there's a lot of drivers you can pick. Stewie is probably the money pick. If you're a gambling man, you're going. Your odds are one. Your odds are 1-to-1. You're not going to make much money on the pick.
Yeah, but how do you bet against that?
That's hard to bet against. But for fun,
he has the best start to win ratio.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
he
won
does.
3 out of 6 now. Yeah, 3 out of 6 starts. He won it. He was at Utica 3 times, didn't win any of those, but he won at Malta, he won at Brewerton, and he won at I-88. So in his 6 races, 50% winning percentage.
His other sprint starts this year, he's been running up near the front and
Right.
had issues one way or the other, whether it's getting DQ for not going over
Right,
scales,
yeah,
or it's
and
running
we
out
can
of
talk
gas.
about that in a second.
It's running
just
out
to
of gas
explain
at
what
the Outlaw
happened.
show at the wheels. Whatever it may be, he's been up front.
Right. I mean, he finished.
Didn't you run good at Canandaigua?
No, he wasn't there.
Or no,
No,
it was
he-
That was Doug that won.
Yeah, Doug was
Actually,
in the car.
Right.
Rolling Wheels was Doug that won in the car.
Right.
Won the smoke shootout.
And he was fast.
Yeah, but to tell you what happened to Friesen on Sunday, there's a lot of people like, well, okay. In the Empire Super Sprint rulebook, there's a rule that says if you do not go directly to the scales when you come off the racetrack, you're automatically disqualified. It used to be loss of points and money, you got nothing. Okay? Now the rule states that you get last place points, last place money. Okay? What Stewie did, he pulled in the pits and drove directly into his pit stall. Okay? As a result, once you nose the car into your pit stall, you did not go directly to the scales. There's no questions asked. That's the rule. There's no DQ.
Right.
And that's because we've had problems in the past, issues in the past. So to be fair to everyone, if you don't go to the scales, that's
now he had run with you guys a few times this year and already
Right.
won. Did he just have a brain fart?
I don't want to talk about his mindset. What happened? He had to run the modified next, and I think the $10,000 championship.
Right.
Hey, we're thinking about it, and he was in a hurry.
Just completely forgot.
Yeah,
he just one of those things that happens.
And
you know what I mean?
Is that sprint car really something he's doing right at this time?
Right, and I mean
for the money.
It's not a living for him. Modified racing is a living, but he's made some good money in the sprint car.
I was going to say, I think
the limited times that he's been in it. But
he could change shoes and make a living.
Yeah, but that's that's a debate we'll have at the end, because that was a big topic on Dirt Track Digest. I'd like to have a discussion on that one, because I kind of got in that with a couple people, so we'll have that in a little bit. But
we got to get Jeff here in a minute or two.
Yep. So.
Yeah, and just to be fair, Mike, I just have a personal bad taste in my mouth for sprint cars this year.
Well, it's been a tough year at Canandaigua for sprint cars. It's been a tough year period for sprint cars.
Let's
be honest. It's been a tough year for the Northeast sprint car world.
Correct.
This stuff has happened. I put this post up the other day. This stuff has happened in sprint car racing forever. People dying. Right. It's part of sprint car racing.
It's just
mostly it's the non-wing stuff.
It's oddly been immune to it up here.
Right.
Correct.
And
but
now,
not even here. I mean, it's sprint car racing all over the country.
Right, but I'm saying, we've been immune where no one has gotten hurt, seriously injured, or anything in a while.
Right.
And this year, it's
been a rash of stuff.
It's kind of like, and the other thing is they're high-profile people that unfortunately are getting hurt and losing their life. Jason Leffler doesn't get any bigger than that. Kramer Williamson is a legend in
Tony Stewart with a broken leg.
And 360 sprint cars. Tony Stewart breaking his leg.
Yep.
Mikael Parent, top runner with ESS, breaking his back.
Yep.
It's just been name after name after name.
It wasn't even a sprint car deal with Flack over the weekend.
Right. It's just one of those things where when bad luck gets there, it's there. And it's unfortunate.
Alicia Ruggles, 19-year-old.
Right. It's just...
I saw a picture of that.
And to be honest with you, that's really...
car, holy crap.
That's really just
Kelly Hebing wanted
that's
a car.
Kelly's car was nasty.
I saw a picture of that car. Holy mackerel.
She got very lucky.
She walked away, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sore knee.
Wow.
That was about it.
Yep.
I saw that car. It was like 4 foot shorter than it should have been.
Yeah,
and to be honest,
305s don't go fast.
Right. No, and I'm going to tell you, they haul the mail around. They put on a hell of a show.
It's a big, fast racetrack.
They do.
They put on a hell of a show there. It's just my personal bad taste.
I understand
and it's right now. I can appreciate what those guys do. That's not easy.
Sprint car racing is sprint car racing.
It is what it
everyone
is.
that says to me, well, what are they going to do to make the cars safer? The cars are as safe as you're going to... There's not much you can do to a sprint car to make it
It's as safe as you
can
get when you put a 1,200-pound car with an 800 horsepower engine.
Yeah, and you're going
and
140 miles an hour. It's just the nature of our sport.
Right. It's not to say that you can't make it safer, because there's probably minor things, but there's not a whole lot you can do.
Right.
Forgot Mike Cooper at Rolling Wheels.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Right? Full fender
guy. But people saying the dirt tracks need safer barriers and all that. That's not cost effective. It's not going to happen.
And I can tell you right now, it wouldn't have done anything.
Right, and you can't compare our sport to NASCAR. You can't compare sprint car racing to NASCAR. And sadly,
even NASCAR's coming under scrutiny. Probably most recently.
Well, Hachmann getting hurt, and that was huge.
Hachmann's was a big deal, and then Mark Martin's deal at Michigan. It was last year. When you hit that pit road abutment, it's things that we've rehashed that one before.
Right. You can't be safe all the time. It's racing.
It's just been a strange year for injuries in racing and motorsports.
And the back fracture. That's the thing.
I don't ever remember a season where two guys in NASCAR, two full-time drivers, that were out at the same in the same season this.
It never happened.
Very strange.
Yeah. So it's just one of those years.
It's the nature of the beast, and when you've got lightweight, open wheel, high power cars like that. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Right.
And especially with each passing year, they just continue to get faster and faster.
So
he's still here.
Any last comments? Because we got to make sure we get to Jeff here. We're running a little behind on him. I don't want to keep him waiting.
Well, I have no comments, so I'll back out.
Hey, we appreciate. We're not trying to get rid of you. We just want to make sure we got to make our other call and get Jeff on so we can talk to him. And we'll ask him a little bit about the rolling wheel situation and all that, and see what he has to say for you. All right.
All righty. Thanks.
Thanks, Papa Firestorm.
Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
We were just having a discussion about the sprint cars and safety and stuff, and Mike being the ESS guru, they had a question in the Creekside Entertainment live chat about how many drivers, if any, are using Hans or a similar device.
I would say...
What's your take on that?
A majority of our drivers are using Hans device and full containment seats. I won't say all of them because I can't say that for certainty.
So it's not mandatory?
It's not mandatory, no. The drivers make the rules, and, again, there's a few old school guys that just don't want to wear them. That's their choice. And, I mean, the driver safety thing, it's hard. I mean, we can only do so much. Mm-hmm. We can tell guys you got to do this, this, and this. You got to wear gloves. You got to wear a fire suit. You got to wear the shoes. You got to do that. I mean, where does it stop, or where do you go? I mean, guys have to take some responsibility for themselves. I mean, they're adults.
Should, yeah.
I'm not saying there shouldn't be like the fire suit rule. I mean, because we look at the old days. Look what guys used to wear: leather helmets and goggles.
Yeah, no blue jeans, work
and
boots.
A rope or a belt. In the car, that was it. So, so, I mean...
White T-shirt, blue jeans, work boots, no...
Yeah. So, I mean, safety has come a long way. But, again, it's still up to the guy to choose to wear the neck restraint. I know we just changed one of the rules that there must be a certain amount of inches above the cage, between your helmet and the top of the cage.
Yep.
Because some guys run those air filter helmets, and sometimes that comes up right to the top.
Right.
And if something happens where that gets hit, that can cause an injury. So they've mandated now that they have to have a taller cage on the top of the car as a result of that. After discussion about Perrant's accident and the injury that he sustained. So that's one of the things. And I know Dave Wickham came and talked about his like a crash pad that he's developed. It's made out of some special stuff. I think it's called 802 Solutions. Let me just double check what it is. Let me see if that's it. Yeah, 802solutions.com. And I'll give you the right name of it. It's the crash pad. And what it is, it's a thing that goes in your seat. Because if you look, a lot of these guys are getting injured on something called a compression fracture. Mm-hmm. It's what happens when they hit the seat. Everything compresses.
Yeah, you're slammed into the ground.
You're slammed into the ground, right? Yeah. You slam your head or whatever you're hitting. And what that does is it compresses, and that's what's breaking the vertebrae.
Right.
So what this does is gives you, a couple inches or an inch of padding between your seat and gives it so there's something to give there. And Wickham talked about, if you want to know more about it, again, it's called 802solutions.com. It's the crash pad. Kelly Hebing used one in her accident.
Right after the smoke shootout,
yep.
They put that in her car.
So I've heard it works from the guys that run it. They like it. I mean, there are some issues where, some guys say, well, I'm already 2 inches under my cage, or my seat's not designed for it. But there's guys that are, making plans to incorporate this, again, as a way to stay safe. And it's supposed to reduce the risk of spinal injury. They've done a lot of research. Dave Wickham has raced sprint cars for a real long time. He's got some, knowledge in this area, which I don't. So, but this is what his presentation was to our guys. And a lot of guys seem interested in checking it out and seeing what, if that would be feasible for them. So hopefully, that's a step in the right direction, and some guys will take advantage of that. All right, joining us on the line now from DIRTcar Northeast, Rolling Wheels Raceway, Super Dirt Week, and pretty much everything else here in the dirt modified dirt car region is our good friend Jeff Hachmann on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline. Jeff, how are we doing this fine evening?
Good. How are you doing?
I got no complaints other than I had to go back to work this week. But other than that, life's pretty good for us. We've had a couple questions come in. People want us to ask you a little bit about the event out at Rolling Wheels Raceway, and the track prep and all of that. What would you have to say to their concerns, when they were upset about the show not getting in or whatever? We just want to give you a chance because, again, we've heard it in our chat room. We've had a couple people call in and wanted us to ask you that when they said you were going to be on. So can you speak to those concerns and so on?
Well, I followed the chat room and, discouraged but appreciate all the candidness. It seems like there's a lot of speaking of the mind and opinions, not really thinking it completely through. But I can tell you there's nothing more than what we wanted to do is to get that event in that night. I hope anybody out there doesn't think that we didn't want to complete a show for the fans, not only that night, and I hope nobody really thinks that we want to add another satellite event to an already robust schedule during Super Dirt Week. All that does is put more work on us. We were dealt some conditions throughout the day. There's no excuse for not starting on time. We are very persistent and very on top of not ever wanting to start late. We were dealt some conditions with the on and off clouds and sun, and the track ended up being too wet when we were about ready to go. We asked for the track earlier in the day, around 6:15, 6:30, which would have would have got us to a start time, the scheduled start time, and when it became that time, we had too much water on the track. So there's no excuse for that. Nobody's perfect, but that kind of put us behind the 8 ball right off the bat. Once we did get going, we pushed the envelope. We kept moving, and like I said, there was some things in the chat room about there's no excuse for starting late. I understand that, and that was, like I told you, what I just said. But the why did we run the redraw, and that's only for the kids, and we should do that behind the grandstands, and obviously those same people were actually watching the redraw and enjoying it, because if they looked out on the track as I was, we were working turns 3 and 4. Another thing I saw in the chat rooms is, I can't believe the World Racing Group doesn't have a grader. A grader was out on the track in turn 4 during that redraw, cutting down that cushion. Third thing is, the other question out there was, why'd you run the stock cars first? Well, anybody that knows putting on an event, you can't turn a B into an A without 10 to 15 minutes. And if you read, I believe it was Ryan Soucy's post, yep, he said by the time he put fuel in his car, we were rolling out on the track. So that didn't screw up anything.
He did say
we
that.
needed that time, and we got the stock cars in. So, like I said, we were pushing the envelope. We kept it going. We needed to cut that cushion down for the safety of the drivers. The track was fast. I thought it was interesting. Somebody posted on there, the same people that are complaining that the track was too moist and there was a cushion were the same people that probably complained that it was too dusty and can't see.
Yep, I agree with that.
So, the track has been phenomenal all year long. Nice and fast. I think those, the stock cars the stock cars look like modifieds, and the modifieds look like sprints. So, I mean, the track was fast, and, there was minimal dust, and you know what? I heard what Joe said on Doug's Dirt Diary, and, we were up in the tower, and I think somebody else put on there that we kind of knew what we were going to do, with our decision, and we were just sitting up there waiting. And that's far from the truth, because Joe and I started talking about the possible situations an hour and a half before. We were in contact with Tom Deary out on the West Coast. He was at the World of Outlaws sprint event about what the right thing is to do. We went through 3 different scenarios. We finally came up with a decision, and didn't make that decision until guys actually opened up, because there was a brief point, if anybody was still sitting in the grandstands, when the rain stopped, we put Packers back out on the track and got 4 laps in before the lightning became too heavy and the skies opened up, and at that point the track was gone. At that point, when we put the Packers back on the track, after talking to our track crew, it was going to be another 45 minutes to an hour to have that track ready to race again. Again, 5 minutes later, the skies opened up to the point where you were never going to get the track back. So, like I said, no excuses for starting late. Not our intention at all. We always want to start on time. But to say that we sat and milked it and took our time and we didn't have our eye on the big picture is completely wrong. Our eye was always on the big picture, and there's nothing more than what we wanted to do. I mean, the other thing that was out there on the chat room was, well, you shouldn't have done the stock cars, and you shouldn't have done the redraw. Well, you know what? Even if that was the case, which there was no way we couldn't do it, because one time we had to work the track, and the other time we were turning a B into an A.
Yep.
Even if that was the case, what would the fans say when it was lap 51 and the rains came?
Right.
Because
then the race is over.
Probably be more pissed.
They would be more pissed because the race is over.
Yeah. And Jeff, we appreciate you answering that question. We just want to make sure, we asked it because, again, we've been taking, a lot of people have asked us to ask you. So, that's.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell our side, because
that's not a problem.
More than we want to do is to put on an experience for the fans. I mean, it starts from the moment they pull in. I mean, if we didn't care about the experience overall, that facility wouldn't look the way it does when they pull in.
Now, I know you've added the show now during Super Dirt Week. I, for one, I'm okay with it, because now I have a place to go on Tuesday night of Super Dirt Week, when before I was going to be sitting home. But, being selfish me, because I was at Utica Rome, obviously, announcing, I didn't have the option to go to Rolling Wheels on Sunday night. But, so you've got it on Tuesday. I know Balmas has something he wants to ask you about that as we roll into the Super Dirt Week portion here.
Yes, Balmas, you have to work.
that I already know. Actually,
in the bathroom?
What's the plan? Have you guys? I know you haven't made an announcement yet, but have you discussed what you're going to do as far as lining the campers up? The staging of the campers, obviously, the last 2 years has been at Rolling Wheels.
There has been discussion. I don't have a final answer on that yet, but we will still line the campers up there. This will be a great opportunity for the fans that weren't at the show, that want to be at the show, for $20 to walk in. I don't want to go with it not gone unsaid that, anybody who has their ticket stub from a Sunday night's event or their wristband will get in free of charge for the completion of the show. And that's important in the sense of, for those of you who've been around racing for a long time, after the heats are done, it's actually a complete show. So there's no obligation to do that. But you know what? We have an obligation to the fans, and that's why we're doing it. So, I hope people appreciate that. But to get back, I didn't mean to get off track, but the staging of the campers, there's been discussion. I'm not sure if we'll go up on the back grass area, and that'll be the full staging. I don't know if we'll keep the staging the way it is along the roadway and leave openings for cars to go in and park. But we will make accommodations so the fans coming in just for this event can still enjoy the experience, and that the campers are not losing their spot because probably one of the most important times for them in Super Dirt Week is 7 a.m. when we start that caravan towards the fairgrounds on Wednesday morning.
Yeah. All right, just to clarify, so as of right now, there will still be staging at Rolling Wheels.
Balmas needs to know about his camping.
Hey, I'm not the only one.
Staging at Rolling Wheels, and there will be staging. The only thing that may change at Rolling Wheels is how they're actually staged.
Right. Okay.
So just
good deal.
Will be a staging point that you can camp at, leading up to rolling into the fairgrounds. We're not changing the location. We may just change the setup of how the campers line up.
Right. Okay.
You good now?
Yeah.
You okay? Okay, he's good. Okay.
So to be clear,
we've got some questions coming in on the chat room here on FingerLakes1.tv and the Creekside Entertainment Hotline chat room. People are asking, are you ready to go at Weedsport? How are things looking there for the Wednesday night small block show? And then Gary Tompkins, he was 20 laps down in the feature. Is he going to be allowed to come back out and run the race as if he was there?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to answer that because that's a Joe answer.
Okay.
I didn't even know Gary was 20 laps down.
I didn't know either because I wasn't there, but I got the question, so I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
you know
he
what?
Got caught up in the
I will have to ask Joe,
okay.
and hopefully have an answer for you next week on that one.
Okay.
I don't want to answer for Joe.
Oh, that's fine.
He is the guru of the rules and the process, and I would surely don't want to make an incorrect judgment here.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary was caught up in the lap one thing. He came into pits right there on lap one.
Okay, I didn't know. I just
remember him coming into the pit, being involved in lap one. I just didn't know how many laps he was down and where he was in the process.
Yeah. And then the second question is Weedsport. How are things looking there? Are we ready to go? Is it looking good? Are you excited about getting a chance to run at Weedsport?
We're excited about it, and I know the team of new owners are excited about it. Are we ready to go? No, we're not ready to race tomorrow. Will we be ready to race Wednesday night? Wednesday night of Dirt Week. We sure we will. If everybody remembers, last week the decision to run on Wednesday night wasn't until 2 weeks before Dirt Week, and I think everybody saw a facility that put on a great event and a track that was awesome. So will we be ready? Yes, we've already started working on it. The permit processing has already been put in place. Jimmy Phelps, who's obviously part of the Hanky Baldwin racing team and has been integral in the stuff over here, has been over here working hands-on, whether it be weed eating, roundup, part of the mowing process. We've already started cleaning the concessions and some of the rooms. So are we ready? No, we're not ready for tomorrow, but we'll be ready for October 9th.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's get to Dirt Week. How is preparations going for Super Dirt Week and things like that? I know you guys put a big change in with the campers, and that was almost a big freak out last year. What was going to happen with that? And how did that
I'm
process...
not the only one.
But you're the only one that brings it up. So
I'm the only one on here that camps.
I'm gonna go into Balmus's corner. I'm always concerned
about camping too.
That's
okay,
right.
so two guys that camp here. Okay, stop sticking up for him. All right? Suck up. Just because you're sitting on a couch with him.
That's right.
But how is preparations going for Super Dirt Week? We know we've got a few weeks now. It's getting close. I mean, we're less than 40 days away. I believe it's something like that.
I believe it's 34 days away.
All right, I was less than 40, so I'm on a hot streak here.
And I'm still sitting at the office, sitting at my desk. So
that makes sense.
Preparations are going great. We're in great shape. We've camping. Obviously, the general camping that was in the infield behind the restaurant is now reserve camping. I know that bothers some people, but that's going to bring some structure to that area. I can tell you, I met with the New York State Health Department today, which is always fun, and they're very happy about the structure.
Is that sarcasm?
That reserve camping. We've already started making plans of how we expand reserve camping next year, 2014. So plans are going great. We've expanded our reach in promoting this event beyond the central New York area, and actually are doing some stuff up in Canada now, and are expanding out closer into Rochester and Utica and Watertown and Binghamton. So we're excited about that. It's always nice to get the word out. Our TV advertising starts on Monday Night Football, so be looking for that.
Nice.
So we're pretty excited with that. Sponsors are coming on board. There's some new sponsors on board this year. STR Trailer Repair. Mike Soul is come on board to sponsor Friday night's events. So we're excited about that. Napa is continuing to support this and make this even bigger. If you go into a participating Napa store, you can get a 99-cent pit upgrade for Sunday. The participating store list is on superdirtweekonline.com. Everything's starting to come together. I think we're calling it racing's biggest party, and it is, and we're doing things that we can to make that party even bigger. And you know what? By mistake, starting Tuesday night has made that party even bigger.
Yep, and it means more work for all of us media members, but we're excited about it because I love all the stuff that goes on Super Dirt Week.
It's cutting into my drinking time on Tuesday.
Bamos was hoping to have a day there, but oh well. Hey, you can have Sunday just like the rest of us. All right, so we know.
Yeah, it's a great plan. Wait till Sunday.
Yeah, wait till Sunday. I know Jeff. He'll need a beer by the end of Sunday.
If we do that,
yeah, he just laughs.
You mean Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah, but
tonight.
No. Yeah, tonight.
If we do a live show on Sunday night, will you come over?
I will. I will, but
we'll make sure we got beer.
I don't think you'll have to worry about the drinking. I think you'll have to worry about waking me up.
Yeah, that's usually how I think we all feel after. I know from my perspective, it's go, and I'm just doing the media stuff. I don't even have to be there all day. I got to, obviously my full-time job during the day.
Yeah, I mean it's pure adrenaline. That's all it is. I mean, because just because we had another event, just because we have satellite events, doesn't mean that I have somebody else doing those. I'll be at and there's many of us on this team that'll be at be at both all the satellite events and at the fairgrounds. So it's nonstop, and going back and doing that last walkthrough at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning, make sure everything's the hatches are battened down at the fairgrounds, and get a quick nap and get up and get ready for the 8 o'clock ready meeting next morning.
So looking forward to it. Again, why don't you tell people where they can go online to find information? I know you said it once. Also, talk about how they can order tickets and get their tickets ahead of time and everything like that. So that way we make sure people get it out there and get it known that this is where they can find information about Super Dirt Week.
SuperDirtWeekOnline.com. And you know what? If you have a question, a tough one, I think we have a pretty comprehensive FAQ document in that. It's under forms. It should answer just about any question that you have about the week, whether it be pricing, whether it be camping, whether it be golf carts, whether it be racing, directions, so on and so forth. So, SuperDirtWeekOnline.com, 877-395-8606. There's another way to order tickets. I will actually have all the passes and tickets in the office here. Feel free to come out and see me. I'll give them to you. You'll walk away and not have to worry about a thing until October 9th. So there's many different ways to get tickets, many different ways to get your questions answered. I missed something when we were talking about how the plans are coming. But, I think one of the coolest things going on is the Sportsman being a part of Friday night for the lights.
Yeah, that'll be exciting, no doubt about it.
Sportsman always wanted to be a bigger part of Super Dirt Week, and I think this them part of the big show.
Jeff, you're talking to, obviously Super Dirt Week takes a ton of work to get going, and you just brought up the Sportsman being part of Friday night. Is that going to be your, if you had to pick one event, one moment of the week, what is your favorite part of Super Dirt Week?
The end.
I'm glad you said that for me. My favorite part, I like Friday Night Lights, but I kind of like come Saturday night when the sprint cars come in.
Me too.
And they kind of kick it up a notch. And if we got a good track to see them, I mean, that just gives you that last burst of adrenaline. Going into Sunday, and Sunday's the big show. It's the granddaddy of them all. So, I love Friday night. I want Friday night to become its own event, in the sense of, I really believe for beyond the race fan, Friday night can be the place to be in Central New York, and then being there on Friday night is going to make you want to come back on Sunday. I think I talked to you guys about this last year, but, some of these, in Syracuse, when there's a big event, there's a lot of people that go to it because they know they have to, or they're going to miss out, or, I have to say I was there. The hockey game, I know I keep on going back to it. There was 15,000 people for a hockey game outdoors at the fairgrounds.
I was there.
Okay. And I know you're a hockey fan.
Love it.
Right. But I know there's not a ton of hockey fans in Central New York. Not 15,000 worth.
No.
I know there was probably half of them there that didn't even know a player that was playing, but they had to be there because it was an epic event.
Yep, that's right. It's an event.
It's an event. And you know what? I know K-Rockathon is a great event. But there's a lot of people, including myself, that went 2 years ago that loves that music, but, and not part of that crowd, but I had to go because it was part of it. Mm-hmm. I'm a Syracuse basketball fan, but how many fans that don't even follow Syracuse basketball are there because Syracuse is going to be playing Duke, North Carolina, Georgetown? I really think Friday night can be the party in October in Central New York. And we're getting there. And it's getting bigger every year. But I'm a big fan of Friday night.
Hey, Jeff.
And I think Friday night sells Sunday.
All right, I got one more smart-ass question for you.
Perfect.
Am I going to be on the list
Only
this year?
one?
I only got one. Am I going to be on the list this year so when I get there I don't have to call you?
No, call Dolak.
Oh, call Chris. Yeah, that'll work out well. Yeah.
I think you should just leave him.
You know
off
what's
the
funny?
list for
I
good
only
measure.
bring it up because last year
I thought that was a joke question.
Yeah, me and my dad were joking around on the way there about how, one of us won't be on the list. Of course. We get there, my dad, oh yeah, Randy, you're on the list. Boom, check off. I'm like, Mike, no, you're not on the list. So
You know what? When I got that call, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I said something to Chris. Did I answer the phone?
Actually, I think your phone was dead, and I had to call 3 other people to get Julia Foy call the person at the gate.
But when I got your text, I looked at it and I said, he knows how to make this happen.
Yeah, I took care of it. Don't worry. I got enough channels that I figured somebody will answer the phone.
Get to the right phone number.
Yeah, I know. I had to skip around.
I got to prioritize here, and I know Mike can handle this one.
Yeah,
I'm going to
thanks.
let him handle it.
It was a good time. But hey, Jeff, we don't want to keep you much longer.
You'll be on the list. Maybe not your dad this time.
No, okay. Well, hey, he won't be
his
too
problem.
upset then. But no, Jeff, we appreciate you coming on, and of course, I'm sure we'll chat with you again. But before Super Dirt Week, we don't want to keep you. We've had you here for
Just gonna be here pretty much weekly from here on.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll get
the
him.
same thing last
We'll
year.
make sure we get you. So again, thanks
I'm gonna have a pretty cool thing to talk about next week, and I know you guys are going to want to participate in it. But I'll just kind of tease it in the sense of last year we had the parade. This year we're going to allow the media to test their racing skills against Brett Hearn, Matt Shepard, and Gary Tompkins. And I'll leave it at that.
Yes, and yes. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure I just answered for all of us.
Yeah, well, it depends.
So it's going to be a pretty cool event. It won't be a parade this year, but it's going to be something that you're going to see all over the news and be on TV, and every media partner that is going to want to be a part of it, whether you're in motorsports or not.
All right.
I think I already know what it is, but I'll stay quiet.
Just keep your mouth shut, Bombas. So
Did I let you in on something, Bombas?
Yes,
Did I
you
do the man? Oh man, I got.
You did.
you can't tell Bombas anything.
I
no,
won't
just
say
kidding.
nothing. I haven't told anybody yet.
He hasn't even told me. Damn it.
But we are going to beat it out of him when we get
Yeah,
off.
don't worry. We got sticks here.
Well, I appreciate you guys allowing me to be on the phone for such a long time and talk about Rolling Wheels and Super Dirt Week. And I know you guys got a big following, so this is my opportunity to talk to the fans one-on-one. And I'll just leave them with this. I say it all the time, and I saw it on the chat room. I guess I didn't answer the phone, or I wasn't here to answer the phone. We don't have a big office of 20 here, but 315-834-6606, and I will return your call if you leave me a message, or I will answer any question. I appreciate the candidness, and sometimes I can fix it, and sometimes I can hopefully just make it better.
All right, Jeff. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing from you again here on the 31st lap.
All right, sounds great, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Good one. Again, so that was Jeff Hachmann on the Creekside Entertainment Hotline, and it's always fun to talk about Super Dirt Week.
Yeah, I felt bad for him on Dirt Track Digest.
He was taking a beating. Things go bad, and there's nothing you can do about it some nights.
Nope.
And no matter what, you're going to take a beating.
We've talked about that a million times.
I saw them.
At some point, it's somebody else's turn, and this time it's their turn. And we've talked about message boards before, and obviously I own it, so it's a little bit closer to me at this point. But you take the good with the bad on a message board. Message boards do a lot of positive, and when something bad happens, they're gonna
be negative.
You're gonna take
They're
that.
gonna beat
but
you up.
I appreciate Jeff coming on and being candid and saying this is what I've read on there.
Yep.
And he answered it straightforward.
Right, and he answered it
right
straightforward. And I'll tell you this: that's awesome that Jeff Hachmann reads my message board. So, so
does Ryan Susi, because Ryan really had the best answer because he was from the driver's perspective.
Right, and that's what you need.
And like Jeff mentioned, he did. I read Ryan's post this afternoon, and he said it, I thought, perfectly. He really did.
And a lot of the fans they don't have the perspective.
It's tough. It is tough. Like, we sit here and we joke about like behind the scenes stuff and what goes on. You don't know. Like, I mean, I wish I could put a camera in the tower at Utica and record it and make like a reality show of what's going on in there, because some of the stuff's wicked funny. Other the stuff, like, how difficult it is. When a driver gets put to the rear, it's not usually a one-person decision. It's the flagger says, we think he got him.
Mm-hmm.
From our vantage point, it looked like he got him. John King, who's our turn 2 flagger, what did you see? And then it's, John Tiff's the race director in the tower. We have the replay. We look, we see, and then you make a decision.
Yep.
There's always a lot of things that are going on. everything just doesn't happen like that. It's not just some random decision, that just randomly pops up and appears. There's always, all these other factors that are involved in any decision that's made at a racetrack. And that's the same thing. I'm sure Jeff was up against it. His track crew said, hey, we have got to fix this. We got a spot in turns 3 and 4. It has to be done before this feature. Something's going to happen. And then what do? You're stuck. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
If you got to fix it, you got to fix it. You can't always have things go the way you want them to.
Right. And a lot of the people that are complaining are the same people that used to sit in the grandstands when Glenn Donnelly was around and sit for 5-6 hours waiting for the rain to stop and the track to get packed in.
Yeah. But you can't do that with lightning nowadays.
I'm not saying they should have, but what I'm saying is...
they sat there for 6 hours complaining then, too.
Right, they were complaining.
They just didn't have a message board to put it on.
Right, and that was the point I was getting to. It was the same thing then. They just have a venue now to voice their frustration.
Anybody who's got a pulse has a voice now.
Yeah, before...
Is that why Bombas is here?
Before you vented, you vented to each other in person. Now it's... You can vent
now you've been here on the show. But
apparently you never sat with Mike and I during the 200.
Yeah, well, see, we're venting in person, but no, we have fun with it. So I want to get back a couple of things we were talking about earlier. The Coal Cup, of course. I mean, I'm a homer, so I want to bring it up. And we went through and we made.
Are we gonna get Pat? Are we gonna try and get Pat?
I don't know. Did we even have a time for
him?
We
have time.
I mean,
we got a cell number and Corey kind of set it up, but I never got a definitive confirmation on it.
You want to try calling him?
Do you want to try? Why not?
We can,
we can.
Give him
absolutely.
Give him a buzz.
He's earned it.
Right? Yeah. He had a hell of
call.
a year. Picking up the track championship at the Fulton Speedway. I was a thing for doing that voice sometimes. Let's get the Coal Cup here because I'm excited. But
I'll totally talk Coal Cup.
Yeah, I'm excited, and that's why I picked. When we were making the picks, I had to pick somebody outside of New York just to have fun with it. Yeah. And one of the things that's come up here on Dirt Track Digest is the how good is Stuart Friesen in a sprint car argument. And poor one of our moderators, Josh Bako, he made a couple of points that let's not anoint him the next second coming of Kyle Larson, because that seems to be the comparison everyone's making. And I kind of stuck up for Josh. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second here. Let's see what he can do. Let's give a bigger sampling.
The second coming of Kyle Larson?
Yeah, well, actually, they were saying he's the next Kyle Larson.
Well, I mean, has there been a first Kyle Larson?
Yes,
I mean,
Kyle Larson.
He's been good, but
listen, I will say this.
But he hasn't. I mean, the kid. I mean,
he's done a lot of things.
That's a lot of undue pressure. I mean, there's on both sides.
Oh yeah,
on both sides.
Let's talk about Larson. I mean, Larson.
I'm not saying Larson's a slouch because he's ready to jump off the couch.
No. But I don't even need to make the argument because it's easy to make.
I don't need to be here and
defend him.
The stats speak.
The stats speak,
right?
And I'll even say that I've seen a lot of sprint car drivers,
and I'm not disputing.
And I've seen a lot of sprint car races, and Kyle Larson is one of the few drivers that I've seen that can hop in a midget, a winged 410, a winged 360. A non-wing car, a Silver Crown car, it doesn't matter. The kid could go to a track for the first time.
On asphalt that he's done
the kid can go. I'm just talking dirt first.
He won 2 more the other night, Calistoga.
Right. Yeah, he just gets in a car and wins. I mean, he won the 4 Crown Nationals at Eldora, and that's been done, one other time by Jack Hewitt. So that's pretty impressive company to be in. And then you look, he's run a few truck races. He's won in a truck. Nationwide Series, he's running top 10 in points. His first year at a bunch of places he's never gone. I mean, he started the year terribly. Obviously he took down the fence at Daytona, but and he had a few accidents there early on, but since he's got that rhythm, he's been much improved as the season on, and now, Ganassi thinks he's going to go somewhere because he is the next driver of the 42 car.
Yeah.
And the only thing that sucks about that for me is that there he goes. That's it for dirt racing for a while. Hey, I don't think you're going to see the Tony Stewart-esque, I'm going to run 100 dirt races and my NASCAR Winston Cup schedule, or NASCAR Sprint Cup schedule, sorry.
No. I think he'll still be allowed to run dirt. He won't be able to do it as often because of the schedule.
Right. And I don't get
he
that.
won't be getting done at Watkins and then
he won't take 6 laps. Yeah, he won't take 6 laps of practice at Watkins going on Saturday and fly to Knoxville to run the Knoxville Nationals. No, that's probably true. But I mean, I'm fortunate. I've seen him race a lot, and it's been impressive. So to compare, someone bringing that up and compare Stuart Friesen to him, is Stuart Friesen an impressive driver? I think 100% Stuart Friesen is one of the best drivers in the Northeast, bar none. No doubt about it.
In anything.
Whether it's a midget, modified, sprint car, whatever.
Pure driver.
He's that good. Yeah, he is.
Pure driver.
Is he Kyle Larson? I don't think we can make that comparison yet because he hasn't gone out
and tried
and done the different places. Right. So to say he's Kyle Larson, come on. Let's wait until see what happens with Friesen's career.
Just to come back to the point that I was making on that is we don't know yet the peak at which Kyle Larson is going to reach. How far Kyle Larson is going to go. I mean, you're comparing it to a very small margin of time that Kyle Larson has been very successful. And I'm not saying that he's not due for great things, but he could become a very, very successful Sprint Cup Series driver. You can't make that next. That you can't anoint him next.
Right, you can't because you don't know. I mean,
you don't.
And again, he's been great here in the Northeast, and there's no doubt he has talent. I know they've talked about going to the Selinsgrove National Open for the 360 sprint cars on September 28th, I believe it is, at the end of September. That's a show. It's a Mach 1 race. It pays something around $7,000, $8,000, whatever. It's a big purse.
With the Target Energizer packed sprint car.
Yeah, but he's going to take the 33 car there, and he'll be racing against, Pat Cannon, TJ Stutz, Jason Schultz, the best of the best in 360s in this region. We have some great drivers with ESS. I'm not taking anything away from our ESS drivers, but
360 racing,
360 racing,
than just the Northeast.
Oh yeah, and Stewie, all the tracks that we've been at are places that he knows like the back of his hand. He's turned hundreds of thousands of laps of Malta, hundreds of thousands of laps of Fonda. Same thing at Utica, same thing at Fulton. They're places that he has a ton of experience. So I want to see how he adjusts. And for me personally, I hope he does really well because I want Northeast Sprint Car, New York Sprint Car Racing to have a name. Because all you hear about and all we talk about is Central Pennsylvania and the PA Posse. That is what our bar or our standard here in New York and this region is in sprint cars. Pennsylvania Posse. Can you keep up with, can you race with a posse? That's the standard.
So you're saying you want Stuart Friesen to be the leader of the New York posse?
I'm fine with that, yeah. I want him to go down there and run well against it. Yeah,
absolutely.
And again, I want him to run down there and go down there and run and make Pat Kennan go
who the hell is that?
Yeah, like Lance DeWeese did when they came to Fulton and he got second. And, Lance looks at him and goes, who are you? And he's like, I'm Stuart Friesen. This is my first 410 race. He's like, what? Okay. That's what I want to see happen.
Right, that grabs your attention quick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That Selinsgrove race is the last weekend in September, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had a lot of guys. We've had a few guys from our area that have had success traveling. You look at the last guy I can think of that went on the road and it was extremely successful was Craig Keel. That was the guy from this area. Mike Woodring's made a name for himself more so in the car ownership and the crew chief realm, but not the racing world. I know. I want to see another guy from New York. I'd love to see him get an outlaw ride and see what happens.
Greg Hodness looking for a ride next year?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, wow. I already knew. Don't worry, I already cried about that. No need to tell me.
You're not going to draw tears out of my
eye. Dude, I read it. I'm sitting there, and I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm looking, and I see an email. Hodnett and Trone split. I'm like, what the? And I won't say what I said. And I click on it. I'm like, son of a. And then
you won't say what you said again?
But it makes sense because, Trone was in the hospital for congestive heart failure.
Whoa.
Yeah, so right now he's got some concerns with health and so on, and that's relatively important. You got to take care of yourself. So I have no fear, though. I believe Greg Hodnett should find a ride. There's a few guys in PA that will need a ride, and Hodnett should be at the top of the list in any car because you get him and you get Lee Stauffer, and there's not a pair better in Central Pennsylvania, personally. But that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but you better. You don't know.
I'll listen to it, and I don't know, so I'll take it.
Oh, what do you got?
Got to be fact.
They're saying here in the chat room that Hodnett's the top pick to replace Raymer.
That would make sense. Because Raymer's retiring. He's done, bar none. And, Raymer's obviously proven that's a pretty good car.
Yeah, my inside source says he's sitting home next year. That's what I heard.
Hodnett?
Yeah.
You have an inside source?
Yeah.
What, you have a voice in your head?
Said Hodnett's sitting out next year.
Does that voice echo?
There's no ride available. Nobody wants him. They're tired of him.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like an empty ice cold Miller Lite can.
Yeah, yeah. And some things, the Cell car would make sense. The Zemco car.
Did you read that on Dirt Track Digest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did, actually. It was in the sprint car form. The thread that nobody goes to.
You know what? I'm going to go look at that right now because I'm going to tell them off.
Score one for DJ Steve-O.
Yeah.
I forgot where I read it because nobody goes to that part of the forum.
Yeah. I go there, but nobody will listen to me. Logan Schuhart and Jacob Al going to the Outlaws full time. But anyways, so yeah, that upsets me. That upsets me. Definitely, it was a big shock to me. But
Logan's been on the show before.
Yep, we had him, and so it's depressing, but that's racing right now. There's a lot of money being spent in PA. But back to the Coal Cup now that I've tangented. So, Steve, your
shifting
thoughts?
Gears, as it were.
Ooh, shifting gears. Haven't used that in a while.
I'm really bummed that I can't go to it.
Can't believe it.
But there's a lot of hype behind this race, and Jason Barney winning the other night, I feel like it's going to be pretty wide open. Mm-hmm. How many guys have you got that are coming from out of the area? I heard a couple guys from PA.
Yeah, you got Billy Pouch Jr., Robbie Stillwagon, Dave Ely, Aaron Ott, obviously.
I read something today about Glenn Stiers, possibly.
Glenn Stiers will probably be the car that his team will be who Wayne Johnson's, not Jason. Sorry, don't take that. Wayne Johnson, not Jason. It'll probably be Glenn Stiers, Jamie Collard, Keith Dempster, I believe, is the other car. I think they're bringing 4 cars. So, and I know Wayne Johnson should be the 77X. That's what the car he normally drives when he comes east. And of course, you got the Canadian 360 Nationals the following weekend. So that guys want to come east, you can run both.
Absolutely.
You can come in, stay a couple days. Because those guys are used to that. You
Now,
race one.
Is that Cold Cup a 2-day?
1-day show.
Just one day show.
The way the format's going to go.
Sunday.
Yeah, rain date Sunday. The way it will work is you will time trial with your group time trials with your heat race group. We'll still have an overall fast timer and all of that, but this way you're only time trialing against guys in your group for your heat race lineup. After the heat race lineup, there will be an inversion depending on car count, and then from there it's heads up. In that sense, there might be a redraw for the top 6 or whatever, top 8 in time trials, whatever. It all depends on
number is.
It depends on car count. Like they've set up a formula.
So it's a
predetermined. It's a predetermined thing
number.
based on every car, however many cars. If there's 0 to 24, it's this. If there's 24 to 30, it's 36. It's this. If there's 36 to 45 or 50, it's this. Okay, so that way it's a predetermined thing, and from there, once your heat race hits the track, if you do not transfer out of that heat race, you start where you finish. There's no getting your time back. Your time only sets up your heat race. So if you're fast time, and let's say you hit a Uke tire, break the front end, and finish last in your heat, guess what? You're starting in the back. And that's, so it's a combination of some various different forms of time trials. And I think the thing that everybody wants to see is we want to see guys race. You don't want to just see them fall back on the time and say, well, I'm fast time, so regardless of where I finish.
Then you should implement passing points.
Shut up. And then, but there will be an inversion.
I didn't even have to say it.
Listen, it's not going to work because it just doesn't work in New York. You can sit here and talk about it all you want. It's stupid.
How do you know it doesn't work? Nobody tries it.
I can tell you.
Passing points still suck.
I'm not going to get into a debate with you.
I don't want to not to draw this out. I just did that just to pick on him. Didn't the Bully Hill Sprint Nationals or whatever the iteration they called that at one point? Didn't they score that on passing points?
I don't know. I never had the chance to go to it.
I think they
but again,
did.
I just don't like it because it's so hard.
Pretty successful.
Yeah, because that's why it's still around.
Oh wow!
Ouch.
I went there.
It's not around probably because Bully Hill probably pulled out.
You know what's funny? You know what Bully Hill's on right now? Pat Cannon sprint car.
Yeah.
On the Buffalo Sabres walls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's
They
where it
didn't
is.
really pull out. They just reallocated.
Yeah, reallocated funds. But no, in all seriousness, I had to make a cheap shot because you brought it up for the stupid passing points crap.
Actually, I did.
I know, but
Well,
see,
cheap
somebody
shot
said,
your way.
they said, is
It's
there
a
passing
win-win
points?
for
I
you.
said, no, good. It's where you finish is where you go. And that way, it's easier to explain. You don't have to sit here and say, well, that guy finished third. He made the show, but the guy that finished second didn't. See, and I don't like that. Like,
No, you create a lot of headache for the
Right.
pit steward.
right, and then
You
you
create
got
a lot
to
of
sit
headache
here.
for the fans. They don't know
Yeah,
what's going on.
exactly. It's too much.
Learn
I mean,
it.
no, why?
Why learn it?
Why?
Not just line up, run heats? You qualify.
There it is. You're in or you're out. There's no.
You
Listen,
fall in line.
the way we've gotten rid of the need for passing points.
Oh my God! Can
is
you imagine
running,
if
the time trials?
If NASCAR put passing points into the Gatorade races?
Yeah.
Or the
But no, but the
qualifiers?
way to negate
Oh
the
my
need
God.
for passing points. Listen, the reason for passing points is so faster guys with more money can make the field even if they start dead last in the heat.
Right.
We've gotten rid of the need for passing points because we're running time trials. Okay, and it's not single car time trials. It'll be like half the group on the track at once and the next half. So it's group time trials because we all do not want to
Thank
watch
God.
50 cars one lap at a time. Nobody likes that. We all know it sucks. So that's the good thing about it. So, you go out in your group, you time trial again, you're time trialing against the cars in your heat based on the draw. But again, there'll be overall fast time. And your time still matters, but, for the overall. But
Only
not
matters through the heat.
through the heat, though. Yep.
After that,
And whoever makes it, if there's a redraw, we go from there.
Let's say that somebody's out there and they break during their qualifying session.
Yep.
Out there, and another car gets bottled up and it squashes their time. Is there any
contingency plan for that?
That's how it is.
It's just act of God kind of thing. And
Yeah, what can you
not
do?
gonna run
You're going to get no
lap.
time. You're going to have to start at the end of the
Well,
heat.
maybe
That's
you
it.
should use the World of Outlaw format.
No, I hate the
Because
World of Outlaw
their format works real well too.
What is
I hate
that?
it.
And then you got Donnie Schatz winning 34 races in a row.
No, Tim Kading won 2 in a row. Pay attention. So, no, here's the Outlaws. What they do is they lock in. If there's 4 heats, they lock in the top 12 or no, top 16. The 16th quick time starts on the pole, and then they invert 4 in the heat. So what the problem is, they only lock 2 in out of the dash. So the top 2 guys in the heat usually are the guys that start on the front row. So if you timed 15th and 16th, you have a better chance of making the dash than the guy that timed 3rd because he gets starts behind him. And in sprint car racing, 410 racing specifically in central Pennsylvania, when you got 40 cars, they're all good. There's no junk there that's going to start up front. So if you time well, you almost get screwed because the only two guys that are guaranteed to make it if they qualify is the first fast timer and the second. They are locked into the dash if they qualify through their heat.
Into the dash, and
then the dash is an inversion, so it's a crapshoot there too.
Right.
But again, just to make the dash, like I've seen Greg Hodden at time 15th makes the dash, starts up, wins his heat race, whatever, and then runs his way up through the heat race. So he timed 15th. The guy that timed third, he's got to run the
C main.
Yeah, he's going to start 11th or 12th in the A main when Hodden times 16th or 15th, and he starts in front of him. And even as a Hodden fan, I don't agree with it. But that's me. I personally like the All-Star format where if you qualify, the top 6 cars that qualify get their times back. The top 6 fastest cars make the dash. But that's me.
There's a different format at Knoxville, says Leroy, too. And
Knoxville is a totally different deal. Knoxville is...
Yeah, you want to talk about confusing.
It's not confusing.
It doesn't get any more confusing than their format.
No, it doesn't. I can tell you how it works. They invert 8 in the heat race.
It's very confusing.
No, it's not.
And then Friday even makes it worse.
Okay, here's how the Knoxville Nationals work. The top 8 in every heat. There's
is there a flow chart for this? Should we put a graphic up?
This is easy. Knoxville format. Yeah, the Knoxville format is an invert 8 in the heat. Where you finish is where you'll go. So if I was fast timer and I finished 9th in my heat, I go to the C main. I start on the pole of the C main because you get your time back once at Knoxville. So if
Ow.
Yeah, okay. So the first 4 cars in the heat race get locked into the A based on time. The next 4 cars in the heat race, so positions 5 through 8 go to the B. 9 and 10 go to the C. That's how that works.
Makes sense.
And then in A main, they invert the top 8 fastest cars based on time trials. So the fastest car that makes the A main starts 8th.
This Knoxville Nationals qualifying breakdown brought to you by Goodies Headache Powder.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think it makes a difference where you start.
Donnie Schatz, you could start him in freaking Oskaloosa 30 miles away, and he's still going to win the damn race. Man, you know what? As much as I am not a Donnie Schatz fan, the dude is freaking impressive.
You could start him at Grays Harbor Raceway.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
He's impressive. But, I mean, the Cole Cup, it's exciting to have a race of this caliber. And, Gene Cole has said on record that if this goes well and he gets a good turnout and good support,
we'll do it again.
It will be again, and it will be bigger. And I can tell you this. We actually have a cup. Like, it's the Cole Cup. It is a
legit,
it's a cup.
Almost
awesome.
the Calder Cup?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, literally, when Dean brought it to show the guys on Saturday or on Sunday night at the ESS show, he had it seat belted into the front seat. It's that big.
Wow.
Like, it's a freaking big cup, man.
Are you going to wear white
Stanley
gloves?
Cup style? And put the
there
names
may
on
be.
it?
I can tell you, there may be a guy with a tie-in and white gloves. I've heard the rumor. I don't know if it's fact, but
I hope so.
That would be
how
awesome.
cool would that be?
I hope
He
so.
hands him the trophy like that. Like, we want to make this race prestigious. We came back up.
Where'd you get your suit at?
Oh,
you're not the
Coles. But anyway, so we came up, the idea, we were throwing around what to call it, when he came up with Cole Cup. And, we weren't sure if Gene Cole was going to take it because he doesn't like anything, we had to kind of.
He's not self-absorbed.
No, he doesn't want us to do that for, as the staff. And I'm like, come on, this is a pretty cool name. Let's do it. So he finally gave and said, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. I want to, and because all the big tracks have their big races. You have the Don Martin Memorial Silver Cup. You have the Gold Cup at Chico. Right. So you have some cool things with that.
Starts tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Or they got rained out. So, yeah.
You have the Stanley
According
Cup
to
every
my,
June.
yeah. So I mean, it's a cool name. I thought it was a neat thing, and just something different. And it's awesome that we finally have a premier event for 360 sprint cars in New York because there's so many cars.
Yeah,
there's a lot of.
Yeah, and it kind of builds off.
Yeah.
The Speed Week thing that we had back in July. That was a huge thing for New York sprint car racing. And I'll tell you this, Mel Thomas texted me today. He's going to have on sale the entire week DVDs, two DVD set of the entire Speed Week. So if you missed it and didn't get it, he's going to have all the tracks. He's got a DVD set coming. Said it should be done for this weekend.
He's retired now. He's got time to do stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
so if you're looking for it, Thomas Racing Videos. I'll even give him a plug. He's got it. So.
Do they have any projections yet of car count? What they're looking
what we
at?
normally go with is the pre-entries and then double it. That's what we've had for modified racing. That's been the history at Utica. So our pre-entry list was 29, 28, somewhere around there. So there's we're hoping 50. That's our standard.
That's a hell of a number.
We
for
get
a sprint
50.
car show.
That's half the field going home.
Yeah. So and here's the good thing about this event. All right, it pays $7,000 to win, $500 to start. Every driver, okay, it's a $100 entry fee. Yep. If you entered before August 1st, you got a free driver pit pass. So actually, it ended up being $65 entry fee. Everybody that comes and doesn't make the show, they're guaranteed to go home with $125. Wow. So they're basically making $25, Well, you're losing $10 if you. I mean, if you're
but you're
with your driver, but still, you don't even have to pay anything really.
But he's taking care of.
Right, you're getting something. You're getting something back
right.
at least, better than nothing.
Right.
So you're getting tow money, which I think is. I mean, yeah, it's a $100 entry fee, but again, if it goes well, who knows? That might even go away. I mean, it's gone away for the other big races. You know, those big races, the entry fee is gone. So if this goes well and it continues to grow, you never know. That may happen in the future. But this is the first time. It's a huge purse. You know, I think it's almost $30,000, I believe, when it all boils down to it for the day, for everything.
Right.
So it's up there. Yeah, it's
a
up
big
there.
Purse.
So it's for sprint cars. I hope the guys support it because again, it's so important for sprint car racing in this region to have something like this. And if guys don't support it, it'll go away. You know, and there's not a lot of big money races anymore for guys in New York. I mean, there's $2,000 to win shows, the occasional $3,000 to $4,000 to win show here and there. You've got the Schweeken Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. That's the highest paying 360 show you're going to go to.
Yeah.
But to have this one here in New York, close to home, where everybody can go, you know, it doesn't get much better than that for me.
I was going to ask, is there any shows that are conflicting at all?
Not for sprint cars, no. URC, Patriots, and ESS put it on their schedule. Okay, it's ESS, Patriot show up points. It's just on the URC schedule, so guys don't have to come. But I know Davey Franick's another guy that has entered to come, so he'll be there.
Date open.
They put it on their schedule. It's on the schedule,
right.
but it's not points or anything like that.
That's great.
So at least it's there. All right, you know, we're hoping to get a strong contingent. It's tough, you know. Those guys, you know, for them to come up here, it's tough because it's a different style, obviously slick track. But Aeronaut proved that you can get it done. I mean, Aeronaut went out there and showed those guys that, hey, I haven't been here before. I mean, he may have been there in a 410 before, if I recall. Now I'm thinking about the All-Stars, but I'm not positive. But again, to be there a couple times and to run and come up through the field, no cautions, get a top 5.
It's a hell of a run.
Yep. So, all right, there's my rant on, you know.
On everything.
And yes, Pico Stick, he does have to go to the scales after he wins. That's the rule. Rules are rules.
Yeah, but not for me.
Yeah.
No, they can't be for me.
Yeah, right.
No. He's got to win first.
I'm the exception.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, he was good on Sunday. I'm not taking anything away from him. He was there. He was with Jason Barney. Barney was just a little better than him in 1 and 2. That was the difference in that race. If you watch the highlights, Northeast Racing, Inside Northeast Racing came out today. The highlights are on there. I apologize now that you have to listen to my mug on there, but
could be worse.
Yeah, I know.
Bombas could have been announcing it.
Yeah, thank God. No, he couldn't go. He couldn't ever be an announcer.
No.
He can't not say the F word in like 3 sentences.
Yeah. I'd swear all the time. It wouldn't be good.
What the is he doing?
Now, if they did like a X-rated night, I'd be all
fine.
over it.
So again, we made our choices. Yeah. Right? I don't think we need to go much longer. We're pushing.
We're at an hour 45 right now.
So,
I mean, we pretty much.
So let's rehash our choices one more time here for the Coal Cups. That way we can. All right. Who'd you have?
I had Poirier.
Yeah, Poirier.
He had Hebing.
I had
Stewie.
We're going with Hebing at this point.
Okay, you're going with Hebing.
I won that by default.
Steve,
unless you want
Johnson Farms 17J.
Lance Young.
Did you guys have to think about it?
Wayne Johnson, and of course I took Aaron Ott, where I should have took Stuart Friesen. So
yeah,
yeah, but you got it on note. So
yeah, I just put it there to make sure that I.
So now we can,
it.
Right, we can make sure we break your balls for not picking Stewie.
Because picking the 1Z.
Right.
You want to make a modified pick?
That's actually funny that she never
for
came
where?
up in any of our picks.
I'm not taking anything away, but there's
a lot of
no, there's a lot of
right, and she hasn't raced.
I'm not saying that at all.
She's run 2/3 of the SS Tour. I mean, she's been at almost every show, so I mean, she's been there. But again, there's so many guys to pick from and girls. I don't want to take it away from her. And which one of us picked a slouch?
Right.
None of us, you know. So and as impressive as
CNY picked Barney.
Yep, Jason Barney. That's one tough one not to pick too. Yeah. You know, I try not to pick the guys I hang out with because I don't want to jinx them.
Well, then stay the hell out of his car.
Yeah, well, I made him win, so maybe I should go sit in there.
No, stay out now. You've already rubbed the good juju off.
I know. So we got a Robbie Stillwagon. Yeah, that's not bad, and Jess is very good at Utica. So.
Yes,
we'll see what happens, and watch. We'll all be wrong. Somebody different will win. It'll be pretty awesome. So, hopefully, we'll see you there on Saturday night. Utica Hot Laps start at 6 p.m. for that show. More information at www.uticaromespeedway.com.
We hit both of these.
You hit them. We hit them. You want to hit them again?
I don't know. We probably should.
Hit them again. Just
do it up.
Hit them again.
DeMico Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. primary sponsor here of the 31st Lap. They're a staple in the Finger Lakes since 1963. D'Amico Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram offers full-service parts and sales from the headquarters on Routes 5 and 20 on the west side of Geneva. Lineup includes the Chrysler 200, the Chrysler 300, the Dodge Charger, the Challenger, and, of course, the new Dart. You want to make sure you get over there. They got tons of pre-owned inventory. They got tons of holes in their pre-owned inventory lineup. They've been beat up by this summer, so they're in desperate need of quality pre-owned vehicles. They're holding nothing back in terms of giving you the most that they can for your car and helping you into one of the new cars, vans, SUVs, or trucks. Stop by, see Mike Godkin, Mike D'Amico, and the rest of the D'Amico family online at D'AmicoChrysler.Jeep.com or visit them in person at the dealership. Open daily, Monday to Saturday at 8:30. More information, call D'Amico's 877-407-7207. And Steven Ovens, you're going to be busy, dude.
Yeah.
F&A Rhythm and Booze.
Can we do the spot?
The Great War. Do you want to do it?
Sure, let's do
it.
it.
You do it.
Creekside Entertainment. We're out of Newark. Fastest growing DJ service in the Finger Lakes. You can see us weekly on Tuesday nights at F&A's Rhythm and Booze right here in Waterloo.
Rhythm and Booze.
See us on Friday nights at the Poorhouse in
There goes
Dundee,
that crowd.
right down the road from Black Rock Speedway, 9 to 1. Also at the Newark Quality Inn, 9:30 to 1:30 with rock and roll karaoke.
Where were we on that one, John?
We're also at the Palmyra American Legion on Fridays from 7 to 11 each and every Friday through September. And Saturday nights, Penny and VFW, 8 to 12. They have DJ service and photo booth. And we are the official photo booth of the Rochester Nighthawks.
Awesome. And the official Fan Connection
and
sponsor.
The official Fan Connection of the 31st Lap. See us at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Don't let them ruin it.
Have I told you I love Rhythm and Booze?
Yeah.
Rhythm and Booze.
I know you love booze. I'm not sure how much rhythm they got.
He's got no rhythm.
After I've had booze, I got all kinds of rhythm.
We'll see you in October.
Shouldn't we ask somebody else that question?
Well, what do you think about that time?
Well, before John becomes the world's greatest lover in a dancing machine, we should probably get it.
That's all she wrote.
I mean, that's one of those things that you just can't avoid. That's going to do it for this edition of the 31st Lap. We'll see you right back here again next week.